Imagine this. You walk into a room, and without saying a word, the air changes. Eyes turn toward you, some filled with curiosity, others with discomfort. You're not trying to draw attention, yet your presence is undeniable. It's as if the very core of your being ripples through the atmosphere, unsettling and awakening those around you. What is this phenomenon? This is the unseen power of your spiritual energy, a force so aligned and potent that it stirs the hidden truths within others. If this resonates with you, you're not alone. You may be one of the chosen ones. Let's be clear. Being chosen doesn't mean you're better than anyone else. It means you carry a unique energy, a higher vibration, and a purpose that may not yet be understood by those around you. Your energy isn't a burden, it's a gift, a call to embrace your light fully. In this journey, we'll uncover why your spiritual energy might unsettle others, and most importantly, how you can embrace it unapologetically to fulfill your purpose. If this message resonates with your spirit, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Together, we'll explore the depths of spiritual awakening and the power of living authentically. Your light matters. Shine it brightly. The Awakening. Why your energy impacts others. Being a chosen one isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. Your energy doesn't conform to societal norms or stay confined within the expectations of others. Instead, it acts as a mirror, reflecting the truth that people often avoid in themselves. This can make your presence feel overwhelming, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're doing everything right. Your energy disrupts the illusions of comfort others have built around their fears, insecurities, and unhealed wounds. Have you ever noticed how some people avoid eye contact with you, or how their mood shifts when you're near? These reactions aren't personal. On a subconscious level, they're feeling exposed in your presence. Your energy is like a spotlight on their shadows, a catalyst for self-awareness and growth. Number 1. The unexplainable presence. The first sign that your spiritual energy unsettles people is the sheer, undeniable power of your presence. This isn't about your physical appearance, your clothing, or even your words. It's an unseen force, a quiet yet potent vibration that emanates from within, carried in the way you stand, the way you move, and the way your eyes seem to see straight through to the core of others. When you enter a space, people feel your energy before you've spoken a single word. There's something in your gaze, something in the calm confidence you exude that challenges everything false around you. Your authenticity becomes a mirror, reflecting back truths that others may have spent years avoiding. It's not intentional on your part. It's simply the natural consequence of your alignment with your higher self. For many, this depth is deeply unsettling. Most people construct lives filled with masks and carefully curated personas, shields to protect themselves from the vulnerability of being fully seen. When your presence enters the room, raw and unapologetic, those masks begin to feel fragile. This can create discomfort or even defensiveness in others. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because they're confronted with parts of themselves they're not ready to face. But let me reassure you, their discomfort is not your responsibility. It's not something to apologize for or fix. It's simply the ripple effect of your light shining brightly. When you live authentically and in alignment with your higher purpose, you naturally challenge the illusions others cling to, and that's a gift, not a fault. So stand tall, hold your light, and know this: your energy doesn't just unsettle, it transforms. Number 2. Magnetic or polarizing. The dual effect of your energy. Another hallmark of powerful spiritual energy is its polarizing effect on others. People are either irresistibly drawn to you or profoundly repelled by you. There's rarely a middle ground. Those who are ready to heal, grow, and awaken to their own potential often find your presence magnetic. They may not fully understand why, but something in your energy resonates deeply with them. It's as if your very being whispers to their soul, reminding them of the greatness and possibilities lying dormant within. Your light acts as a beacon, subtly encouraging them to rise, to heal, and to align with their higher selves. However, not everyone is ready for this kind of awakening. For those clinging tightly to their comfort zones, your energy feels like a threat. It disrupts the foundations of the carefully constructed reality they've built around themselves. To them, your presence isn't just unfamiliar, it's unsettling. You represent change, and change often brings discomfort, fear, and resistance. Have you ever encountered someone who seemed to dislike you instantly, without cause? Or perhaps someone who appeared irritated just by your mere existence? This isn't about who you are. It's about what your energy triggers in them. It stirs up what they're not ready to confront, be it unhealed wounds, hidden insecurities, or fears of stepping outside their comfort zone. It's important to understand that their reaction is not a reflection of your worth, but a sign of their inner conflict. Your energy challenges them to grow, and not everyone is prepared for that journey. So whether people are drawn to you or resistant to your presence, remember this: your spiritual energy is a catalyst for transformation, and transformation always begins with disruption. Stay true to yourself, knowing you are exactly as you're meant to be. Number 3. Misunderstood and misjudged. Being a chosen one often comes with the heavy burden of being misunderstood. People may label you as too intense, too sensitive, or even too intimidating. But these words rarely have anything to do with who you truly are. Instead, they are reflections of their own discomfort, projections of their inability to fully grasp or accept the energy you carry. When someone says you're too much, what they're really saying is, your energy is more than I can handle right now. It's not about you, it's about them. Your authenticity, depth, and alignment can be overwhelming to those who are not ready to confront their own truths. This kind of misunderstanding can feel isolating. You may find yourself walking a path that few seem to relate to, leaving you with moments of doubt or loneliness. But here's the truth. Being ahead of your time means forging a new trail, one that others might not yet be prepared to follow. Your role isn't to fit into the mold society has created, it's to reshape it. Leadership, especially spiritual leadership, isn't about seeking approval or popularity. It's about standing firmly in your truth, even when that truth makes others uncomfortable. It's about holding the light when others are still learning to see it and inspiring growth in ways that may not always be immediately recognized or appreciated. So if you feel out of place or misunderstood, know that this is part of your calling. You are here not to blend in, but to lead. Your courage in embracing your authentic self paves the way for others to do the same, even if they don't understand it yet. Keep standing in your truth. It's exactly what the world needs. Number 4. The mirror effect. Why your energy exposes others. Your energy is more than a presence. It's a force that reaches deep into the unseen layers of those around you. It doesn't just skim the surface, it acts as a mirror, reflecting back the hidden parts of others they may not even realize they're carrying. Their fears, insecurities, and unhealed wounds often rise to the surface in your presence, not because of anything you say or do, but because of the light you naturally emanate. When you're aligned with your higher self, your energy becomes pure and potent. This elevated vibration naturally shines a light on areas where others are out of alignment. It reveals truths they may have spent years burying, bringing to light the parts of themselves they've avoided confronting. For those who are ready to face these truths, your energy is a profound gift. It offers them a chance to grow, to heal, and to begin the journey of transformation. They may not be able to articulate it, but your presence stirs something within them, a quiet whisper urging them toward change. However, not everyone is ready for this reflection. For some, it feels less like an opportunity and more like a confrontation. Your energy, by its very nature, challenges their comfort zones and exposes the illusions they've built around themselves. This can be unsettling, even triggering, because it forces them to acknowledge the parts of themselves they'd rather keep hidden. It's essential to understand that this isn't something you're intentionally doing. Your energy simply exists as it is, aligned, authentic, and unapologetic. For those who feel exposed or uncomfortable, It's their journey to decide whether to face what they see or turn away. Your role is not to dim your light for their comfort, but to continue shining, trusting that your presence is making an impact, even if it's not immediately understood. Number 5. Intuition as your superpower. One of the most extraordinary aspects of your spiritual energy is the depth of your intuition. It's not just an ability to listen to words, it's an ability to feel the energy behind them. You can sense when something is unspoken, when someone's actions don't align with their intentions, or when their words mask deeper truths. It's as though you have a direct line to the undercurrents of emotion and thought that others may not even realize they're projecting. This heightened awareness can sometimes feel like a superpower. You may notice dishonesty before it's spoken, detect hidden motives without evidence, and see through facades with astonishing clarity. People who are used to keeping their true selves hidden can find this deeply unsettling. They may react with surprise, confusion, or even defensiveness, saying things like, "How did you know that?" Or, "It's like you're reading my mind." While this intuitive gift is undoubtedly powerful, it comes with responsibility. The more you trust it, the sharper and more refined it becomes. But this trust also requires discernment. It's not about using your intuition to judge, control, or manipulate others. Instead, it's about using it as a tool for compassion and guidance. Your intuition allows you to navigate the world with wisdom and clarity. It helps you connect with people on a deeper level, offering insight and support in ways they might not even realize they need. However, it's important to remember that not everyone will be comfortable with your ability to perceive what they're not ready to acknowledge. Honor your intuition as a sacred gift. Use it not to expose or challenge others unnecessarily, but to inspire, guide, and uplift. When aligned with love and authenticity, your intuitive energy becomes a powerful force for good in the world. Number 6. Breaking free from societal norms. As someone with powerful spiritual energy, you naturally defy societal expectations. You're not one to blindly follow the rules or accept things as they are just because that's how it's always been. Instead, you question everything, the systems, the norms, the unspoken assumptions, and in doing so, you challenge the status quo. Your ability to see through the illusions of the material world sets you apart. While many find comfort in conformity and predictability, you see beyond it. You recognize where systems are flawed, where truths are hidden, and where change is needed. This makes you a disruptor, not in the sense of chaos, but as a force for transformation in a world often resistant to it. Have you ever been met with comments like, "Why can't you just go along with it?" Or, "Why do you have to make everything so complicated?" These aren't critiques of you, but reflections of the discomfort your truth creates in others. Most people find security in the familiar, even when it no longer serves them. When your energy calls these illusions into question, it can feel threatening to those who aren't ready to step out of their comfort zones. But here's the truth. You're not here to fit neatly into the boxes society has built. You're not here to conform or shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You're here to expand, to challenge, to grow, and to lead by example. Your willingness to ask hard questions, to live authentically, and to push against outdated norms is exactly what the world needs. It's not always an easy path, but it's a necessary one. By standing firm in your truth, you inspire others to do the same, planting seeds of change that ripple far beyond what you can see. Number 7. Embracing your light, unapologetically. For too long, you may have felt the weight of others' expectations pressing down on you, urging you to dim your light. Maybe you've softened your presence to avoid making waves, hidden your truth to keep the peace, or silenced your voice to avoid standing out. You may have convinced yourself that blending in was the safest choice, that holding back would spare others discomfort, or even spare yourself the pain of rejection. But the truth is, the world doesn't need a watered-down version of you. It doesn't need you to dilute your brilliance, your authenticity, or your purpose. What the world desperately needs is your full, radiant, unapologetic self, the version of you that stands boldly in the light of who you truly are. Every time you shrink yourself to fit into someone else's mold, you're betraying the very purpose for which you were chosen. You're denying the world the unique gifts only you can bring. But every time you step into your light, every time you speak your truth, share your wisdom, or embrace your authenticity, you give others permission to do the same. You show them what's possible. Your light is not just for you, it's a beacon for others. It inspires them to step out of their own shadows, to reclaim their truth, and to rise into their potential. By shining brightly, you create ripples of courage and transformation in the hearts of those around you. So stop hiding, stop apologizing, stop betraying the fullness of who you are to make others comfortable. The world needs your light, unfiltered, untamed, and unapologetic. When you embrace your brilliance, you not only honor yourself, but you also help awaken a brighter, bolder world. Practical steps to embrace your power. Take a moment to reflect deeply. What drives you? What ignites your soul and fills you with passion? Your purpose is not just a lofty idea. It's the foundation of your existence. It's the force that gives meaning to your actions and direction to your energy. When the reactions of others feel overwhelming, when they judge, misunderstand, or resist you, ground yourself in your purpose. Let it be your anchor, reminding you of why you are here. By focusing on the impact you want to have on the world, you'll find the strength to navigate challenges and stay true to your path. Your purpose isn't just about what you do, it's about who you are. Your intuition is one of your most powerful tools, a built-in compass that guides you toward alignment and truth. Yet so many of us are taught to doubt our inner knowing, to rely solely on external validation. It's time to stop second-guessing yourself. Your intuition speaks to you in quiet nudges, gut feelings, and moments of clarity. Trust it. It knows the way, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. The more you lean into your intuition, the sharper and more reliable it becomes. Trusting yourself isn't just an act of self-belief. It's an act of honoring the wisdom within you. Your energy is sacred, and not everyone deserves access to it. Protect it fiercely by setting boundaries with people, situations, and commitments that drain you. Saying no isn't selfish, it's necessary. When you preserve your energy, you allow yourself to operate from a place of balance and wholeness. This is when your light shines brightest. Boundaries are not walls. They're guidelines that ensure your well-being while still allowing meaningful connections. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Surround yourself with people who see your light and celebrate your growth. These are the ones who will lift you up, challenge you to rise higher, and hold space for you during difficult times. At the same time, don't be afraid to let go of relationships that no longer align with who you're becoming. Growth often requires shedding the old to make room for the new. A supportive community doesn't just amplify your energy, it reminds you that you're not alone on this journey. Your words have power. When you speak your truth, you not only free yourself but also inspire others to do the same. Even when it feels uncomfortable, trust that your message will reach those who need it. Your voice carries weight because it comes from a place of authenticity and alignment. Whether you're sharing wisdom, offering encouragement, or simply standing up for what you believe in, your voice is a tool for transformation. Don't underestimate its impact. When you anchor yourself in purpose, trust your intuition, protect your energy, surround yourself with support, and use your voice fearlessly, you step into your power. You align with your higher self, radiating the light and truth that only you can bring into the world. The ripple effect of your awakening. Your spiritual energy extends far beyond the immediate interactions you have with people. It creates ripples, subtle but powerful waves, that reach into the fabric of the collective consciousness. Every choice you make to embrace self-love, to live authentically, and to stand in your light rather than succumb to fear, becomes a beacon of possibility for others. It's easy to underestimate the power of these small, everyday acts. But think for a moment about the people who have impacted your life. Maybe it was their courage in the face of adversity, their unwavering authenticity, or the way they simply radiated presence. These individuals may never know the profound influence they had on you, yet their light inspired you to grow, to heal, and to step more fully into who you are. Now realize this: you are that person for someone else. Every time you choose to honor your truth, even in the face of resistance, you are planting seeds of transformation in the hearts of those around you. Your energy silently inspires others to break free from their own limitations, to explore their potential, and to rise into alignment with their higher selves. You may never witness the full impact of your energy. It's often subtle, unfolding in ways you cannot see. But trust that it's there, shaping lives and awakening possibilities in ways that extend far beyond what you imagine. So, when you feel discouraged or question whether your light makes a difference, remember this: your energy is a catalyst. You are creating ripples of love, courage, and transformation that are touching lives in ways you may never know. By simply being your true self, you are contributing to a brighter, more awakened world. So let me ask you, what would your life look like if you stopped holding back? If you fully owned your light, your power, and your truth without hesitation? Imagine stepping into every moment with confidence, unapologetically embracing the brilliance that makes you you. The world isn't waiting for a shadow of you or a diluted version of your essence. It's waiting for the real, vibrant, radiant soul that you are. You weren't meant to play small. You weren't designed to blend in or fit into someone else's mold. You were created to disrupt, to awaken, and to inspire. Yes, your energy might unsettle people. Yes, it might challenge their comfort zones. But it's also the very thing that can heal them, open their hearts, and ignite their own transformation. Your light has a purpose, and it's time to let it shine. Now is the moment to step into your power, to embrace your purpose, and to live as brightly as you were always meant to. Don't keep your gifts hidden any longer. The world needs your light. Thank you for joining me on this journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Together, we'll continue to explore what it means to live authentically, embrace your spiritual energy, and create ripples of transformation in the world. Remember, your light matters. Shine it boldly and unapologetically. Have you ever stopped to wonder if true prosperity lies beyond the endless cycle of chasing financial security? In a world where success is often measured by the stability of a 9-to-5 job, could there be a higher way? A path that leads not only to wealth, but also to fulfillment and lasting purpose? King Solomon, renowned for his unmatched wisdom and unparalleled wealth, offers us a timeless truth that challenges conventional thinking. In Proverbs 8:18, he declares, "Riches and honor are with me, enduring wealth and righteousness." This profound statement is more than an invitation to pursue material gain. It's a call to redefine success. True prosperity isn't confined to a paycheck or promotion. It's the fruit of wisdom, faith, and aligning our lives with God's eternal principles. Now close your eyes and envision this: a life unshackled from financial limitations. Imagine being the architect of your own financial freedom, walking a path illuminated by God's wisdom. Picture a prosperity that flows not only from the work of your hands, but from divine guidance shaping your every step. Friends, this is the prosperity Solomon speaks of, a life of abundance built on enduring values, one that leaves a legacy of honor and righteousness. If this resonates with your heart, you're in the right place. On this channel, we explore the timeless wisdom of the Bible and how it can transform your life in powerful, practical ways. Don't miss out on this journey of growth and inspiration. Hit subscribe and join our community as we uncover the path to true prosperity together. Your breakthrough starts here. Let's walk this journey of purpose and abundance hand in hand. Let's begin by addressing a common mindset: the belief that financial security is tied to job stability. In today's world, success is often defined by a steady paycheck or a single source of income. But King Solomon's wisdom challenges us to break free from this conventional mindset. He invites us to see a new path, one where wealth is not tied to a job but flows from wisdom, faith and courage to think differently. As Deuteronomy 8:18 reminds us, "But remember the Lord your God, for it is He who gives you the ability to produce wealth." This verse shifts our focus from the work of our hands to the divine wisdom that empowers us to create lasting abundance. Imagine how liberating it would be to know that your financial stability isn't chained to a single paycheck. Picture a life where you are free to pursue your God-given purpose, where your income reflects not just your labor, but your alignment with wisdom and divine principles. This is the freedom Solomon invites us to embrace, a freedom rooted in trusting God and stewarding what He provides. Let's take a moment to reflect on the remarkable story of Joseph in Genesis 41. Joseph's journey began in adversity, sold into slavery by his own brothers, falsely accused of a crime he didn't commit, and left to languish in prison. By all appearances, his circumstances were hopeless. Yet Joseph's story is not one of defeat, but of triumph, made possible by his unwavering faith and the wisdom God gave him. When Pharaoh had dreams no one could interpret, Joseph's God-given insight provided the answers. His wisdom not only saved Egypt from disaster, but also elevated him to a position of leadership, second only to Pharaoh. As Egypt faced years of famine, Joseph implemented a resource management plan so effective that it not only sustained the nation, but allowed it to serve others in need. Joseph's success didn't come from clinging to conventional methods. He didn't rely on status, connections, or personal gain. Instead, he trusted in God's guidance, took bold, strategic actions, and exercised wisdom in every decision. His story stands as a testament to the power of aligning one's actions with divine principles. Through his faith and courage, Joseph transformed his circumstances, and in doing so, he became a vessel of God's provision for countless others. Today, like Joseph, we find ourselves at a crossroads. Will we remain confined to traditional thinking, relying solely on others for financial security? Or will we embrace the wisdom Solomon speaks of, seeking divine guidance, taking bold steps, and stewarding resources with care? This decision isn't simply about earning more money. It's about reshaping how we view wealth and purpose. True prosperity isn't about accumulation, it's about alignment. Aligning our lives with God's wisdom and allowing Him to guide us toward a purpose that transcends material gain. Imagine what could happen if we, like Joseph, trusted God to lead us into the unknown. What if we dared to think differently, to step out in faith, and to manage what we've been given with diligence and care? Joseph's story reminds us that when we act with wisdom and faith, God can take even the most dire circumstances and turn them into something extraordinary. The question is, will we trust Him to do the same in our lives? When we think about money, it's easy to become entangled in common misconceptions. Statements like, "Money is the root of all evil," or "Wealth corrupts." These phrases have shaped the way many people view wealth, often leading to feelings of guilt, fear, or confusion about the role money should play in their lives. But what does the Bible truly say about money? King Solomon, known for his extraordinary wisdom, sheds light on this subject in Ecclesiastes 5:10. "Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied." This too is meaningless. In this verse, Solomon doesn't condemn money itself, but addresses a deeper issue. The problem isn't wealth, it's our unhealthy attachment to it. When money becomes our master, when we place it at the center of our lives and look to it for happiness or security, we find ourselves perpetually dissatisfied. No amount of wealth can fill the void left by a misplaced focus, and chasing it relentlessly only leads to frustration and emptiness. It's crucial to understand that money, at its core, is neither inherently good nor evil. It's a tool. Like any tool, its value lies in how it is used. When approached with wisdom, faith, and a sense of purpose, money becomes a powerful instrument for good. It can be used to fulfill our responsibilities, provide for our families, create opportunities for others, and bring hope to those in need. The Bible does not discourage wealth. Rather, It warns against the dangers of loving it above all else. 1 Timothy 6:10 clarifies a common misquote. The love of money is the root of all evil. This distinction is critical. Wealth itself is not the issue. It is the unhealthy attachment to money that leads to greed, corruption, and poor decisions. When we view money as a resource entrusted to us by God, it becomes a means of stewardship, a way to honor Him and bless others. Ultimately, the impact of money is determined by the heart of the person managing it. Used wisely, it can transform lives, reflect our values, and advance God's purpose in the world. The question is not whether we should have money, but whether we are using it as a tool to serve God and others or allowing it to control us. Solomon's timeless wisdom reminds us that true and lasting prosperity begins with understanding. In Proverbs 4:7, he writes, "Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and in all you're getting, get understanding." This verse underscores that wisdom and understanding are not optional, they are foundational. Without them, even great wealth can be fleeting. Financial literacy is a key part of this wisdom. It equips us with the tools to manage resources effectively, ensuring that what we earn, save, and invest grows into lasting abundance. Consider the stories of lottery winners who lose their fortunes within a few years. Their downfall isn't due to a lack of money. It's a lack of wisdom. Without the understanding of how to budget, invest, and plan, even the largest sums can slip away. Solomon's teachings challenge us to do more than simply work for wealth. He calls us to approach money with purpose and intentionality. Financial education helps us take practical steps toward stability. Budget with purpose. A budget isn't a restriction, it's a plan for aligning spending with values and goals. It ensures that every dollar works towards something meaningful. Invest wisely. Understanding concepts like the power of compounding, diversification, and long-term strategies allows us to make informed decisions that grow wealth steadily over time. Manage debt effectively. Debt can be a significant obstacle to financial freedom. By avoiding high-interest loans and creating repayment strategies, we free ourselves from unnecessary financial burdens. To elevate your financial journey further, Solomon's wisdom points us toward an entrepreneurial mindset. This doesn't mean you need to launch a large corporation. It's about embracing a proactive, creative approach to opportunities and taking control of your financial destiny. In Proverbs 6:6-8, Solomon encourages us to learn from the ant. Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways, and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. The ant acts with diligence and foresight, preparing for the future without waiting for external direction. Similarly, an entrepreneurial mindset calls us to take initiative. It encourages us to diversify income streams, use our talents to generate opportunities, and think creatively about how to build resilience. For example, you might turn a passion or skill into a small side business or explore investments that align with your long-term goals. Entrepreneurship isn't just about financial gain. It's about cultivating resilience, adaptability, and independence. When we combine financial literacy with an entrepreneurial mindset, we unlock the ability to weather life's uncertainties. More importantly, we align our efforts with God's wisdom, positioning ourselves to steward resources faithfully and build a legacy of purpose and abundance. Adversity often holds within it the seeds of transformation. Financial setbacks, whether it's the loss of a job, unexpected expenses, or navigating an economic downturn, can feel crushing in the moment. These challenges test our resolve, shake our confidence, and leave us searching for answers. Yet, it is often in these very moments of difficulty that God invites us to grow, learn, and step into a new season of opportunity. Proverbs 24:10 offers us this powerful reminder. If you falter in a time of trouble, how small is your strength? This verse doesn't condemn us for feeling weak. Rather, it challenges us to rise above our circumstances. Challenges are not the end. They are the beginning of something greater. Adversity forces us to reevaluate, to lean on God's wisdom, and to develop the resilience needed to thrive in a changing world. History and scripture are filled with stories of individuals who turned trials into triumphs. Consider Joseph, who rose from slavery and imprisonment to become a leader in Egypt. His faith, coupled with bold decisions and God's guidance, transformed what seemed like a hopeless situation into one of incredible influence and blessing. Similarly, in our lives, financial challenges can serve as catalysts for reinvention. They push us out of our comfort zones, forcing us to think creatively, explore new opportunities, and build the skills and habits that lead to lasting success. When we face adversity with faith and determination, we discover strength we didn't know we had. Through these experiences, God refines us, preparing us for the blessings He has in store. Adversity is not a dead end. It's a doorway to growth, resilience, and transformation. Will you step through it? King Solomon, in his unmatched wisdom, paints a vivid picture of the importance of diligence in Proverbs 13:4. The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. This verse reminds us that true success is not handed to us. It is earned through steady, intentional effort. While it's natural to dream of a better future, dreams alone are not enough. It is the consistent, purposeful steps we take each day that turn aspirations into reality. Even the smallest actions, when repeated faithfully, compound over time to create extraordinary results. However, persistence is about more than just working hard. It's about faith and resilience. There will be days when progress feels slow, when setbacks seem overwhelming, or when giving up feels like the easiest option. Yet Galatians 6:9 urges us, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." This verse encourages us to stay the course, trusting that our efforts are not in vain. Just as a farmer patiently waits for the harvest after planting seeds, we too must persevere, even when the results aren't immediately visible. Persistence is also about aligning our actions with God's will. It's trusting that He is at work behind the scenes, multiplying our efforts in ways we may not yet see. When we combine diligent effort with faith, we unlock the strength to keep going, knowing that God's timing is perfect. True success comes to those who persevere with purpose, leaning on faith to guide them through challenges. With diligence and trust in God, the harvest we long for will come in its proper time. Keep going. Your breakthrough may be closer than you think. The journey to financial wisdom and stability begins with a single powerful decision: to take intentional steps toward a better future. Financial health doesn't happen by accident. It requires purposeful planning, consistent effort, and a mindset focused on growth and stewardship. The first step is to evaluate your finances. Take an honest look at your income, expenses, and any debts you carry. Understanding where you stand financially is essential for making informed decisions. This step is about clarity, not judgment, and it lays the foundation for meaningful change. Next, create a budget that aligns with your values and goals. A budget isn't about restriction, it's about empowerment. By assigning every dollar a purpose, you ensure that your resources work for you, whether that's paying off debt, saving for the future, or investing in opportunities that bring long-term rewards. Building an emergency fund is a crucial part of financial stability. Start small if necessary, but aim to save enough to cover 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses. This financial cushion not only provides peace of mind, but also protects you from relying on high-interest loans or credit cards during unexpected challenges. Investing in financial education is another key step. Knowledge is power, and understanding how money works equips you to manage it wisely. Learn about budgeting, debt management, and investing. Explore resources like books, podcasts, and online courses that teach practical strategies for building wealth. Seek out mentorship and community to support your journey. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals who value financial literacy and share your commitment to growth. Mentors and supportive communities can offer guidance, encouragement, and accountability, helping you stay on track even when challenges arise. Finally, stay persistent. Progress doesn't come from one-time actions, but from consistent, purposeful effort. Whether it's making small sacrifices to save, saying no to unnecessary expenses, or committing to learning a new skill, every intentional step moves you closer to financial freedom. Remember, this journey is not just about money, it's about aligning your resources with your purpose and values. By taking these steps, you are not only creating financial stability but also honoring God's call to steward His blessings wisely. Stay focused, stay faithful, and watch as your intentionality leads to lasting prosperity. Heavenly Father, we come before you with grateful hearts, acknowledging that every good and perfect gift comes from you. We ask for your wisdom as we navigate our financial journey. Teach us to make decisions that align with your purpose. Help us to steward our resources with integrity, to give generously, and to trust in your provision. May our efforts reflect your glory, and may our journey inspire others to walk in faith and wisdom. Strengthen us in moments of doubt, and remind us that true prosperity lies in you. In Jesus' name, we pray. Amen. This journey isn't just about wealth. It's about living with purpose, resilience, and faith. True prosperity begins when we trust in God's guidance, take intentional steps, and align our resources with His plan. Together, we can embrace opportunities, walk in divine alignment, and build a legacy that honors Him. If this message has resonated with you, we invite you to share your thoughts in the comments. What's your next step? Declare your commitment or share how you are pursuing financial wisdom and purpose. And before you go, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By joining our community, you'll find encouragement, practical insights, and inspiring stories that will help you grow in faith and purpose. Together, let's walk the path to true abundance and trust in the breakthrough God has planned for us. Thank you for being part of this journey. Your presence here is a blessing. Listen carefully, for the words I'm about to share are not born of chance or coincidence. Your name has been chosen in heaven for a cause far beyond your understanding, a divine purpose woven into the eternal plan of the Almighty. What you are hearing now is not just for your ears, but for your heart. It is a message of hope, a revelation of your calling, and a promise of the blessings prepared for you. Do not let doubt turn you away from this moment. Stay steadfast, for this truth has the power to transform your life. 12 angels came before me, each carrying your name, each pleading on your behalf with a love so deep and reverent. They see what you cannot yet see in yourself, a light, a spark, a divine potential that was placed within you before the foundation of the earth was laid. You are more than you believe yourself to be. You are chosen, beloved, a vessel to carry my love, my hope, and my glory to a world in need. If this message has touched your heart, don't let it stop here. Join this journey of hope and revelation by subscribing to this channel. Let these words inspire you daily, guiding you as you walk in faith and purpose. Together, let us illuminate the world with His love. I see you. I see the thoughts that swirl endlessly in your mind, weighed down by questions, fears, and uncertainties. You carry so much within you, dreams tangled with doubts, hopes shrouded by whispers of insecurity. There are nights when the silence is deafening and doubt creeps in like a shadow, whispering lies that gnaw at your spirit. Why me? You wonder. Why have I been chosen? What have I done to deserve this calling, this attention, this weight of purpose that feels both extraordinary and overwhelming? You search tirelessly for answers that seem just out of reach, hoping for clarity amidst the chaos of your heart. But hear me now, beloved. You are chosen, not because of what you have done, but because of who you are and who I have created you to be. Before you took your first breath, I knew you. I shaped you with care, planting seeds of purpose within you. Your strengths, your struggles, your story, they all matter. They are all a part of the masterpiece I am weaving. You are not defined by your achievements or failures, but by the love I have for you and the purpose I have placed upon your life. I see the burdens you carry, the silent battles no one else notices, The weight presses heavily upon you, doesn't it? Responsibilities stack higher and higher, and some days, it feels like you're carrying the world on your shoulders. I see the tears you cry when no one is watching, the prayers whispered in desperation, the moments when you feel like you're barely holding on. You've given so much, endured so much, and yet the heaviness lingers. But let this truth sink deep into your heart. You were never meant to carry these burdens alone. I am here. I have always been here. I am the one who strengthens you when you are weak, who walks beside you through the valleys, and who carries you when your strength is gone. Every trial you've faced, every tear you've shed, every moment of doubt, it has not been for nothing. Each hardship has been preparing you, refining you, and shaping you for the greater purpose I have planned. Even in the moments when you couldn't see it, I was working for your good, molding you into the person I designed you to be. So, my beloved, rest in this truth. You are not alone. You are chosen. You are loved beyond measure. I am with you now, just as I have always been, and I will carry you through every storm, every uncertainty, and every obstacle that lies ahead. Trust me, for the journey I have set before you is one of hope, promise, and purpose. Step forward, not in fear, but in the confidence that you are held by the one who calls you his own. Your name rose to heaven, not by random chance but with purpose, because of the qualities I see in you, qualities that mirror my heart. You may not fully see them yourself, but I do. I see the kindness in your soul, the way you extend love even when it costs you something dear. I see how you choose forgiveness when bitterness feels easier, and how you give generously even when you have little to spare. I see your humility, a rare jewel in a world that often exalts pride and selfishness. You stay grounded, rooted in what is good and true, choosing to honor me even when the world turns away. Your willingness to love when your own heart aches, to comfort others even in your own pain, and to do what is right when no one is watching. These are not mere acts. They are treasures, precious offerings that ripple outward, touching lives in ways you cannot yet imagine. What you may see as small sacrifices, an encouraging word, a quiet prayer, a moment of compassion, have reached farther than you know. They have brought hope to the weary, light to the broken, and joy to those who felt forgotten. Heaven itself has taken notice. The angels spoke your name with reverence, for they see what I see. They see the purity of your heart, the quiet strength of your spirit, and the light you carry within you, a light that pierces through the darkness and warms even the coldest hearts. That light is not of your own making. It is my light, reflected through your life. Every act of love, every moment of obedience, and every step of faith shines brightly, pointing others to me. Your humility is what sets you apart. You do not seek applause, recognition, or the fleeting praise of others. You do what is good and right because it brings joy to my heart, not because it brings you glory. In a world consumed by self-promotion, your humility is a beacon of hope and a testimony to my work within you. This is why your name was lifted before me, why you have been chosen for this calling. But know this: you are not chosen because you are perfect. I do not seek perfection, for I know that none can achieve it apart from me. You are chosen because you are willing to trust, to follow and to obey, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. I do not ask for perfection. I ask for your heart, and through your willingness I will pour out blessings that will not only change your life, but will also touch the lives of countless others. My beloved, trust in this truth. Your life has meaning, your actions have purpose, and your name is precious to me. Through you, I will mend broken hearts, bring light to dark places, and restore hope where it has been lost. Walk forward in faith, knowing that my strength will sustain you, and my love will surround you. You were chosen not by accident, but with great care and intention. Let this truth guide you, for I am with you always. The cause for which you have been chosen is neither small nor insignificant. It is part of a divine plan, one that stretches far beyond what your eyes can see or your mind can comprehend. This plan intricately weaves together every moment of your life, your triumphs, your heartbreaks, your victories, and your struggles, into a tapestry of purpose so magnificent that it could only be the work of divine hands. Nothing you have experienced has been random or wasted. Each thread, carefully placed, contributes to something greater than you could ever imagine. Through you, my love will flow into the lives of those who feel unseen and forgotten. My hope will rise like a beacon in the hearts of the brokenhearted, and my glory will pierce the darkest places, bringing light and restoration. You are not just a participant in this plan. You are a vessel, uniquely crafted to carry out a sacred purpose. I have chosen you to be a conduit of my love, my hope, and my power. Do not let thoughts of inadequacy cloud your vision. The fears that whisper, "You are not enough," or "You cannot do this," are lies designed to paralyze you and keep you from stepping into your calling. Hear this truth. What you perceive as weaknesses, I see as the very places where my strength will shine brightest. It is in your moments of doubt and struggle that my power is perfected. My beloved, understand this. When I choose someone, I do not call them because they are already qualified. I qualify those I have chosen. Your flaws, your fears, and even your failures do not disqualify you from this purpose. On the contrary, they are vital pieces of your testimony, a living testament to what I can accomplish through a willing and surrendered heart. The trials you have faced, the lessons you have learned, and the growth you have experienced are all preparing you to fulfill this calling. Trust that I do not make mistakes. If I have called you, it is because I know you are capable, not in your own strength, but through mine. So walk boldly, my child. Do not shrink back in fear, for you do not walk this path alone. My strength will uphold you, my wisdom will guide you, and my love will sustain you. Through you, lives will be touched, wounds will be healed, and hope will be restored. My name will be glorified in ways beyond what you can envision. You have been chosen, not by accident, but by divine design. Trust in me, for I will equip you for every step of the journey. When you feel overwhelmed, lean into me. When doubts arise, remember that I am the source of your strength. You are my beloved, chosen for such a time as this. Step forward with courage, for the work I have begun in you, I will bring to completion. Beloved, your journey will not be without challenges. There will be moments when the weight of the calling feels too heavy to bear, when doubt whispers louder than faith, and when you question whether you are capable of fulfilling the purpose I have placed before you. In those moments, do not let fear or uncertainty overwhelm you. Instead, remember this unshakable truth. You are not alone. I am with you, guiding your steps, equipping you for every challenge, and providing for every need. Each act of faith, no matter how small, will uncover more of the plan I have designed specifically for you. With each step, doors will open that no one can shut. Paths will appear where none seem possible. Opportunities will arise that exceed your imagination. Relationships that were broken will be restored, and healing will flow into your life like a mighty river. The blessings I have prepared for you, blessings that the enemy sought to take away, are safely held in my hands and will be revealed at the perfect time. Through you, lives will be transformed. Your light, the one I have placed within you, will shine brightly, bringing hope to the hopeless, healing to the broken, and salvation to those in need. You will be my hands and feet, my voice and heart, carrying my love into a world desperate for it. This calling is not a burden, my beloved. It is a privilege. To be chosen and used by me is the greatest honor, for it means you are part of something eternal. You are part of my divine plan to bring light into darkness and life into despair. Walk forward in faith, for I am with you, and together we will do great things. I know you wonder, what happens next? How will I know what to do? These questions swirl in your mind, and the uncertainty can feel overwhelming. But my beloved, you do not need to have all the answers right now. Trust me. Trust that I am leading you, step by step, even when the path ahead seems unclear. Each step of faith you take, no matter how small, will bring you closer to the fulfillment of the plan I have designed for you. When the way is clouded and the answers seem far away, rest in the knowledge that I am working behind the scenes. I am orchestrating every detail, aligning every moment, and weaving everything together for your good and for my glory. You may not see it now, but my hand is in every part of your journey. The enemy will try to fill your mind with lies. He will whisper that you are not enough, that you are too broken, too flawed, too insignificant. Do not believe those lies. They are meant to keep you from stepping into the greatness I have placed within you. Remember this: you are chosen not because of what you can do, but because of what I can do through you. My strength is sufficient for every weakness you feel. My grace is enough to cover every shortcoming. You are not called to rely on your own ability, but on mine. Lean into my strength, for it is in your moments of weakness that my power shines the brightest. Take the next step in faith, beloved, knowing that I am with you. Trust in my timing, trust in my plan, and trust that you are never walking this path alone. In this season, I am teaching you how to pray, not just with words, but with a heart aligned to my will. Prayer is not about presenting a list of requests, but about communion with me, about aligning your heart with mine. Let your prayers be filled with surrender, trust, and gratitude. Here is how you will pray. Father, I come before you with a heart that is open and humble. I surrender my plans, my fears, and my doubts to you. Teach me to trust your timing, to walk in obedience even when the path is unclear. Help me to see the beauty in the unknown, knowing that you are leading me. Lord, I do not ask for clarity, but for faithfulness. I do not seek success, but the strength to carry out your will. Refine me, mold me, and use me as a vessel of your love and grace. Let my life be a reflection of your goodness, a testament to your glory. Teach me to love as you love, to serve as you serve, and to trust as you trust. When I am weak, remind me that your strength is made perfect in my weakness. When I feel lost, guide me with your light. When I am overwhelmed, be my refuge and fortress. I thank you, Lord, for choosing me, for equipping me, and for walking beside me. May my life bring you honor, and may every step I take lead me closer to you. In Jesus' name, amen. Beloved, a new season is upon you, a season of unveiling, where the purpose of your calling will become clear. The gifts I have placed within you, some long hidden and others yet to be discovered, will come to light as you walk in obedience. As you step forward in faith, you will see lives touched, hearts healed, and spirits renewed through the love and light you carry. Do not underestimate the power of what you have already been doing. The work of my kingdom is not about grand gestures, but about love. It is built in the quiet moments of compassion, in the unseen acts of kindness, in the words of truth spoken with tenderness. These small yet profound acts are the foundation of my plan, and you have been part of this work, even when you didn't realize it. Every choice to love, to forgive, and to serve has echoed into eternity. Do not fear the magnitude of your calling. It may feel overwhelming, but remember, you are never alone. I am with you, guiding your steps, empowering your actions, and surrounding you with my love. Trust in my plan, for it is designed to prosper you, to fill you with hope, and to lead you into a future rich with purpose. Beloved, you are mine, and I am yours forever. Your journey is only just beginning, and the best is yet to come. Walk boldly in faith, trust fully in my guidance, and let your heart rest in the certainty that you are deeply loved. The angels rejoice over you, for you are chosen, cherished, and called. Let this truth strengthen you as you step into the fullness of the season ahead. If this message has spoken to your heart, we invite you to subscribe to this channel. Join us as we continue to explore God's love and purpose together. Thank you for being here. We're honored to walk alongside you on this journey. Have you ever looked back on your childhood and felt that certain moments, emotions, or experiences were not merely coincidences, but signs of something greater? Perhaps you sensed an invisible presence guiding you, a quiet voice calling you toward a purpose you couldn't yet understand. From the first steps of life, some are marked by subtle but profound indicators that they are set apart for a divine mission. These signs, sometimes quiet and unassuming, are evidence that the Creator has crafted a unique path for your life. In Jeremiah 1:5, God says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations." This profound truth reveals that God's plan for each of us begins long before we take our first breath. Like Jeremiah, many of us carry invisible marks from an early age, quietly preparing us for a destiny far beyond our understanding. Today, I invite you to embark on a journey of self-discovery as we explore 10 powerful signs that you may have been chosen by God from childhood. As you reflect on your own story, you may come to realize that God has been leaving clues all along, guiding, protecting, and preparing you for a divine purpose. Sign number 1. A deep sense of being different. From a young age, you may have felt different from those around you. While other children easily blended into groups, laughing and playing without hesitation, perhaps you found comfort in solitude, observing, reflecting, and thinking deeply about the world. You may have been more introspective, preferring quiet moments over loud gatherings, or drawn to thoughts and ideas far beyond your years. This sense of singularity, the quiet feeling that you were made for something more, can be both isolating and comforting. At times, you may have silently wondered, why do I feel this way? Why don't I completely belong here? This lingering question wasn't a sign of weakness or inadequacy. Rather, it was a divine mark upon your soul. God was setting you apart, crafting you for a mission far greater than you could understand at the time. This inner sense of being different was never meant to make you feel less than others. It was God's gentle whisper reminding you that your life carries extraordinary meaning and purpose. Romans 12:2 encourages us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This verse speaks directly to those who feel different, reminding you that your uniqueness is intentional. God designed you to stand apart, not to follow the crowd, but to lead, inspire, and fulfill a distinct calling. This difference you felt growing up was a divine gift. It was God preparing your heart and mind for the unique purpose He has planned for you. Recognizing and embracing this sense of singularity is often the first and most important step in understanding your divine purpose. Trust that God set you apart for a reason, and in His perfect time, that purpose will unfold in ways more beautiful than you can imagine. Sign number 2. Heightened awareness and sensitivity. As a child, did you sense emotions or shifts in the atmosphere that others seem to overlook? Perhaps you could feel the unspoken sadness behind a smile, sense tension in a room without anyone saying a word, or feel overwhelming peace in the quiet of nature. You may have noticed how a gentle breeze, the sound of rain, or the stillness of the night stirred something deep within you. An unexplainable feeling that you were connected to something far greater than yourself. This heightened awareness, this deep consciousness, was not accidental. Proverbs 20:27 reveals this truth. The human spirit is the lamp of the Lord that sheds light on one's inmost being. God often uses our inner sensitivity as a divine tool to guide us, revealing truths that are hidden from the surface. Your ability to perceive things beyond what is seen or spoken was intentionally placed within you by God. It is a spiritual gift, designed to help you understand people and situations in a way that others may not. This sensitivity may have made you more aware of the needs of others, or more attuned to the presence of God in the world around you. Perhaps you felt deeply moved by the beauty of creation, the quiet moments of reflection, or even by the struggles of those around you. These experiences were not random. They were God's way of awakening your spirit, drawing you closer to His presence, and preparing you for a greater purpose. Sign number 3. Extraordinary empathy. One of the most profound signs of being chosen by God is the extraordinary ability to deeply feel and understand the emotions of others. From a young age, you may have noticed when someone was sad, anxious, or lonely, even when they tried to hide it. While others may have overlooked these silent struggles, you sensed them instinctively, feeling their pain, their joy, and their burdens as if they were your own. This deep emotional sensitivity is far more than simple compassion. It is a divine gift, a reflection of God's love working through you. Romans 12:15 instructs us, "Rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn." This verse speaks to the heart of empathy, sharing in both the celebrations and the sorrows of others. God has molded your heart to mirror His own, filling you with the ability to comfort, support, and uplift those who are hurting. This spiritual sensitivity enables you to reach people in ways words alone cannot, offering understanding, warmth, and healing where it is most needed. Perhaps you were the child who sat beside the lonely classmate or comforted someone without needing to know why they were upset. This natural response to the pain and joy of others was not a coincidence. It was God preparing you to be a beacon of His love. Your empathy is a sacred tool that allows you to build genuine connections, providing strength and hope to those who feel unseen or forgotten. Sign number 4. Prophetic dreams and premonitions. Have you ever experienced dreams so vivid and profound that they remained etched in your memory for years? Or perhaps you had an unexplainable feeling that something significant was about to happen, only to later witness it unfold exactly as you sensed. These moments are far more than mere imagination or coincidence. They are divine whispers, subtle yet powerful signs of God's presence, guiding and preparing you for the path ahead. In Job 33:15-16, we are reminded of how God speaks to us in quiet, mysterious ways. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on people as they slumber in their beds, He may speak in their ears and terrify them with warnings. This scripture reveals that God often uses dreams and visions to communicate His will, offer comfort, reveal hidden truths, or even provide warnings about future events. Perhaps you can recall moments when a dream offered you peace during a difficult season, or when it brought clarity to a decision you were struggling with. Maybe a vision alerted you to avoid a situation, or encouraged you to take a bold step in faith. These spiritual experiences are not accidental. They are intentional signs that God is actively working in your life, drawing you closer to Him and preparing you for the divine assignment He has placed upon you. Many figures in the Bible, like Joseph and Daniel, were guided by God through dreams and visions. Just as He spoke to them, He speaks to you, gently guiding, warning, and comforting you. These moments are a reflection of your deep spiritual connection and a clear indication that God is shaping and equipping you for a greater purpose. Embrace these divine whispers, for they are signs that you are chosen and being prepared to fulfill God's extraordinary plan for your life. Sign number 5. Divine protection. Do you remember moments in your life when you narrowly escaped danger, or when an unexpected solution appeared just in time to save you from harm? Perhaps there were times when you made a sudden decision to change your path, unknowingly avoiding an accident or a harmful situation. Or maybe someone appeared in your life at the exact moment you needed help, offering support or guidance when you felt lost and vulnerable. These moments were not coincidences. They were powerful manifestations of God's divine protection over your life. Psalm 91:11 reassures us of this truth. For He will command His angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways. This promise is a reminder that God assigns His angels to watch over and protect those He has called for a greater purpose. His protection is constant and intentional, guiding you away from harm and surrounding you with His divine care. Perhaps as a child, you experienced situations where danger was near, yet somehow you were shielded. You may have felt an invisible force steering you away from harm, or circumstances unexpectedly shifted in your favor. These experiences are evidence that God has been safeguarding you, ensuring that nothing could derail the destiny He has designed for you. God's protection is not always dramatic or obvious. Sometimes it is a quiet nudge in your spirit, an instinct to pause, or the sudden arrival of help when you need it most. These moments are His way of showing that your life holds significant purpose and that He is actively preserving you to fulfill it. Trust in His divine protection, knowing that God has been with you every step of the way. His unseen hand has guided you through dangers you recognized and many more you never even noticed. This constant care is a clear sign that you are chosen and deeply loved. Sign number 6, a natural connection with God. From a young age, you may have sensed that God was always near, a constant, comforting presence, much like a trusted friend who quietly walks beside you. While others might have viewed prayer as something formal or distant, you may have found yourself naturally speaking to God as if He were right there, listening to every word. Even without hearing an audible response, you felt assured that He was near, attentive to your thoughts and feelings. This deep, personal connection is one of the clearest signs that you were chosen for a special purpose. Psalm 145:18 beautifully affirms this truth. The Lord is near to all who call on Him, to all who call on Him in truth. This verse is a reminder that God draws especially close to those who sincerely seek Him. That quiet urge you had to pray, those moments of stillness when you felt an overwhelming sense of peace, especially during times of confusion or fear, were not coincidences. They were God's way of gently preparing your heart for a deeper relationship with Him. Perhaps in moments when you felt alone or misunderstood, an unexplainable comfort surrounded you, calming your fears and lifting your spirit. This inner peace was God's assurance that He was guiding and protecting you. Even as a child, your heart was attuned to His presence, and that sensitivity to God's voice was a reflection of the divine calling placed upon your life. This closeness to God is not something everyone naturally experiences. It is a sacred gift, a sign that He has set you apart to walk intimately with Him. Embrace this connection, nurture it, and know that God has been walking with you since the very beginning, guiding you step by step toward the destiny He designed just for you. Sign number 7, facing unusual challenges. Early in life, chosen individuals often face significant challenges from a young age, challenges that seem heavier and more complex than what others experience. Perhaps you felt misunderstood by your family or peers, struggling to find where you truly belonged. Maybe you endured emotional pain, isolation, or situations that forced you to mature faster than those around you. These hardships may have left you wondering why your path felt more difficult, why you carried burdens others didn't seem to bear. But these struggles were not meant to break you. They were allowed by God to shape and refine you, strengthening your heart and spirit for the greater purpose He has prepared for you. In Romans 5:3-4, we are reminded, "We also glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope." Every obstacle you faced was part of God's divine process of building resilience, compassion, and inner strength within you. Pain taught you empathy for others, trials forged your endurance, and loss deepened your understanding of God's comfort. Just as fire refines gold, your hardships refined your character, preparing you to fulfill the unique calling placed upon your life. Consider how biblical figures like Joseph and Moses faced great adversity before stepping into their God-given roles. Joseph was betrayed and imprisoned before rising to power, and Moses endured rejection and exile before leading Israel. Their struggles were not punishments but preparation. Likewise, your challenges have been God's way of equipping you with the strength, wisdom, and compassion necessary to carry out His purpose. Trust that every hardship has meaning, and through it all, God is molding you into the person you need to be to fulfill your divine destiny. Sign number 8, a fascination with stories of faith and courage. Were you drawn to stories of biblical heroes, martyrs, or spiritual leaders who faced overwhelming challenges, yet remained steadfast in their faith? Perhaps the courage of David standing before Goliath, the unwavering obedience of Noah building the ark despite mockery, or the resilience of Esther risking her life to save her people deeply moved you. Maybe stories of modern-day missionaries, reformers, or martyrs who sacrificed everything for their beliefs captivated your heart in ways other stories could not. This deep fascination was not a mere childhood interest. It was God quietly planting seeds of courage, faith, and purpose within you. These stories ignited something powerful in your spirit, inspiring you to believe that, like those heroes of faith, you too are capable of standing firm in the face of adversity and fulfilling a divine calling. Hebrews 12:1 reminds us of this truth. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. The great cloud of witnesses refers to the faithful men and women who have gone before us, living examples of courage, sacrifice, and obedience. Their stories serve as guiding lights, encouraging us to persevere in our own journeys. These stories were more than entertainment. They were mirrors reflecting the path God is calling you to walk. They stirred a desire within you to live boldly, to make a difference, and to trust God through every challenge. Embrace this divine inspiration, knowing that God has been preparing your heart all along to step into your own story of faith and courage. Sign number 9, a relentless curiosity for deeper truths. Perhaps from a young age, you found yourself asking deep and challenging questions about life, God, and existence, questions that others around you rarely considered. You may have wondered about the meaning of life, the reason behind suffering, or the nature of God's presence in the world. While others were content with simple answers, you felt an unshakable need to dig deeper, to seek truth beyond the surface. This relentless curiosity was not accidental. It was a divine seed planted in your heart, a sign that your soul was destined for something greater. Proverbs 2:3-5 speaks directly to this search for truth. Indeed, if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as for silver and search for it as for hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. This passage reveals that God honors the heart that seeks wisdom. Your thirst for understanding is a reflection of the calling God has placed on your life, to pursue His truth with passion and dedication. This hunger for deeper knowledge isn't just for your own growth. God is preparing you to lead, teach, and inspire others. Your journey of seeking truth equips you to guide those who are lost, to provide answers for those in doubt, and to share the wisdom you've gained. Every question you've asked and every answer you've pursued is part of God's greater plan for you. Embrace this divine curiosity as a sacred gift, knowing that through your pursuit of truth, you are being shaped into a vessel of God's wisdom, ready to illuminate the path for others on their spiritual journey. Sign number 10, unshakable resilience. Despite the many hardships you have faced, you found the strength to keep moving forward. This resilience is not something you developed on your own. It is the result of God's unwavering presence and strength working within you. In moments when you felt weak, burdened, or overwhelmed, it was God who lifted you up, giving you the courage to stand tall and press on. His grace became your foundation, and His power became your source of endurance. Isaiah 41:10 offers this powerful reminder. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. This promise assures us that no matter how heavy our burdens or how fierce our battles, we are never alone. God's presence surrounds us, His strength fills us, and His hand upholds us. Every trial you have encountered was not meant to break you but to mold you. These challenges served as stepping stones, shaping your character, deepening your faith, and building your endurance. Like gold refined in the fire, each hardship has purified and strengthened you, preparing you for the greater purpose God has designed for your life. Through every storm and every struggle, God has been equipping you to become a beacon of hope and strength to others. Your story of perseverance is a testimony of His power working through you, a light that can guide others through their own darkness. Embrace this resilience as a divine gift and continue to walk boldly, knowing that God is always by your side, guiding and strengthening you for the journey ahead. Reflect on these signs and know they are not mere coincidences. They are God's fingerprints on your life, guiding you toward a purpose far greater than yourself. Every experience, every feeling of being different, and every moment of divine protection has been part of His perfect plan for you. Embrace your calling with confidence. Let your light shine brightly and inspire those around you. Your journey is only beginning, and God is walking beside you every step of the way, leading you toward the destiny He has prepared for you. If you've recognized these signs in your own life, share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's grow together in faith and walk this blessed path hand in hand. Thank you for watching and being part of this uplifting community. If this message has touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content. May God bless you abundantly on your journey. Amen. There is a power moving in the unseen, a force far greater than any human mind can comprehend. To be chosen by God is not simply a title. It is a divine appointment, a sacred calling that sets you apart. But with that calling comes a battle. A spiritual war rages, often invisible to the naked eye, where the forces of darkness plot and scheme, believing they can bring down God's anointed. They think they are untouchable. They weave webs of lies, deceit, and malice, convinced their plots will bury you. But here's the unshakable truth. You were never fighting alone. The very heavens are aligned in your favor, and those who rise against you unknowingly sign their own spiritual death warrant. Let this be a wake-up call. Messing with a chosen one is not just picking a fight, it is challenging the authority of the Most High. And that is a battle no one can win. God has a way of allowing the wicked to dig their own graves while they try to destroy the righteous. Statistics say that 92% of those who conspire against others eventually face severe consequences, whether through karma, divine justice, or their own downfall. But here's the divine twist. When someone targets a chosen one, those odds jump to 100%. This isn't superstition. It's spiritual law. And today, we are going to uncover exactly why the chosen are untouchable, why the enemies of God's people always fall, and how divine justice unfolds with precise and devastating accuracy. Energy is like a mirror. What people project into the world comes back to them, often magnified. But when someone targets a chosen one, this reflection becomes lethal. Hatred, envy, deceit. These dark energies don't just vanish, they gather momentum, grow in strength, and come crashing back upon the sender, destroying them from within. They think they're aiming at you, but they're only setting themselves up for destruction. God's anointed walk with a spiritual immunity, an invisible armor that not only shields them, but actively returns negativity to its source. This isn't passive protection, it's an active force. The more hatred they send, the stronger the backlash. The trap they set for you becomes the pit they fall into. What they fail to understand is this: their attacks are tainted by their own darkness. The hatred, fear, and brokenness they project only amplify when it returns, tearing their lives apart. Their obsession with harming you becomes their undoing. They're not battling you. They're battling their own demons, amplified by their own intentions. And you walk forward, untouched, while they burn in the very fire they lit. Divine justice is never random. It is precise, intentional, and perfectly executed. God does not act out of impulse or emotion. He moves with strategy and purpose. Every lie told, every betrayal committed, and every malicious scheme crafted against you is met with a response so deliberate and exact that it leaves no room for doubt. It is clearly divine in origin. God sees everything. He is never caught off guard. Long before your enemies begin to plot, God already knows their plans. He watches every hidden move, every whispered lie, and every dark intention. Yet, in His wisdom, God doesn't always stop them immediately. Sometimes He allows them to continue, to become more confident in their wicked ways, believing they are succeeding. Why? Because in their arrogance, they unknowingly build the very structure of their own downfall, brick by brick. The weapons they carefully form to harm you do not vanish. Instead, they are turned against them. Their lies become the trap that ensnares them. Their betrayal isolates them. Their deceit poisons their own relationships. God allows their actions to unfold until the perfect moment arrives, and then He strikes with precision. God's justice is not broad or general. It is deeply personal and perfectly tailored. For some, their punishment comes through the loss of power, status, and influence. For others, it manifests in broken relationships, financial ruin, failing health, or even a loss of mental peace. Whatever they value most becomes the very thing that crumbles. The unraveling is specific, deliberate, and leaves no doubt that their suffering is the result of divine intervention. For the chosen, this is a powerful reminder. You do not need to fight. You don't have to defend yourself, seek revenge, or lower yourself to their level. God's justice operates beyond anything you could do. He fights for you with a force that no human can withstand. Your very existence is a direct threat to darkness. As a chosen one, you carry a powerful spiritual light that naturally disrupts anything built on lies, manipulation, and deceit. Without even trying, your presence exposes the hidden toxicity in others, their insecurities, their false intentions, and their unhealed wounds. You are like an antidote to poison, neutralizing the darkness that others try to spread. This isn't something you asked for. It's not something you can turn off or hide. It's simply who you are. The light within you was placed there by God, and it shines brightly whether you speak or stay silent. That light forces people to confront the darkness within themselves. For some, this confrontation sparks deep reflection and transformation. They recognize their flaws and begin the difficult journey toward healing and growth. But for others, this reflection is unbearable. They are unwilling to face their own brokenness, and instead of changing, they choose to fight against your light. They lash out. They try to dim your glow, attacking you with gossip, lies, jealousy, and hatred. But here's the divine truth. Every attempt to harm you only backfires. Their hatred doesn't weaken you. It magnifies their own inner chaos. The more they try to hurt you, the more they become entangled in their own darkness. They don't realize that their anger and bitterness are consuming them from within. Their energy becomes wasted on a losing battle, while you continue to rise, untouched and unshaken. You don't need to fight back. Your light, your presence, and your purpose are more than enough. And that, for them, is the most unbearable truth of all. When someone becomes obsessed with the chosen one, they unknowingly set themselves on a path of slow and inevitable destruction. Obsession is not just an emotion. It's a toxic poison that seeps into every corner of their mind and soul. It often begins subtly, with small sparks of jealousy and envy. But over time, those sparks ignite into an uncontrollable fire that consumes them from the inside out. Instead of focusing on their own growth, success, and happiness, they become completely consumed by thoughts of your downfall. Every moment they spend plotting against you is a moment stolen from their own progress. They cannot celebrate their own victories because they are too focused on trying to prevent yours. Their days become filled with bitterness, their nights restless with thoughts of how to bring you down. But here's the divine irony. While they waste away in hatred, you continue to rise. God's favor lifts you higher, guiding you forward, untouched and unbothered. No matter how hard they try to harm you, their efforts crumble, and it is their own life that begins to fall apart. Their closest relationships start to suffer. Friends and family grow distant as their toxic obsession pushes people away. Their inner peace shatters, leaving them anxious, restless, and empty. Even their physical health begins to decline under the weight of constant stress and anger. This obsession becomes a self-inflicted wound that never heals. They slowly spiral into a spiritual death, consumed by the very hatred they refuse to release. In the end, their downfall isn't caused by you. It's the result of their own poisoned heart, all because they couldn't let go. They walk with confidence, believing they are the hunters, carefully stalking their prey, setting traps, and weaving lies to bring you down. But what they fail to realize is that God is the true master of the battlefield. While they plot in secrecy, God is already many steps ahead, turning their own schemes into traps designed for their downfall. Every lie they whisper, every deceitful plan they craft, is carefully woven into the very net that God is preparing for them. In His infinite wisdom, God allows their arrogance to grow, letting them believe they are winning, feeding their pride so they become blind to the danger they are walking into. They see their plans unfolding and assume they have gained the upper hand, never realizing that each step forward is another step closer to their own destruction. And then, when the time is right, the trap snaps shut. God's judgment is not rushed. It is patient, deliberate, and perfectly timed. But when it finally comes, it is complete and devastating. Their alliances, once so strong, crumble. The people they relied on for support turn away. Their carefully built plans collapse like sandcastles under a rising tide. The very weapons they formed to destroy you become the tools of their own ruin. They thought they were clever, digging a pit for you to fall into. But in the end, it is they who tumble into the darkness they created. Their downfall is not by accident. It is the result of divine justice. God will not be mocked. Those who plot against His chosen will always fall victim to the traps they set for others. Those who plot against you believe they're simply targeting another person, someone they can manipulate, intimidate, or overpower. But what they fail to realize is that they are stepping into a battle far beyond their understanding. You are surrounded by an invisible shield, not of luck or coincidence, but of divine protection crafted by the hands of God Himself. This shield is not fragile, it is unbreakable, forged through spiritual armor that deflects every attack aimed your way. No weapon formed against you can prosper because your protection is rooted in something eternal. God's timing is always perfect, ensuring that you are always one step ahead, safely guided away from harm and placed exactly where you need to be. But your protection doesn't stop there. Generations before you have spoken blessings and prayers over your life, words of protection, strength, and favor. These prayers are like deep roots, anchoring you firmly through every storm. They create a foundation so strong that no attack can shake you. Your enemies don't understand this. They think they are fighting you, but in reality, they are waging war against divine forces far greater than anything they can comprehend. They strike blindly, unaware that every move they make is blocked, intercepted, and turned back on them by powers they cannot see. They cannot touch you because they are fighting a force they will never understand, a force that cannot be defeated. God stands before you, beside you, and behind you, and no human scheme can break through His protection. You are not just another person walking through this world. You are sacred territory, set apart and divinely protected. To rise against you is not simply a personal attack. It is a direct violation of spiritual law, an offense against God's divine authority. Those who plot against you fail to realize that they are not merely challenging you. They are trespassing on holy ground, stepping into a realm where they have no power and no right to stand. And make no mistake, God does not take this lightly. The one who called you, anointed you, and placed His hand upon your life will not stand idly by while enemies attempt to harm you. Their actions carry consequences that are both swift and severe. One by one, the foundations of their lives begin to crumble. Their health weakens, their peace disappears, their relationships fracture, and their carefully laid plans fall apart. The more they push, the harder they fall. Their relentless pursuit to harm you only accelerates their own destruction. Every step they take against you brings them closer to the consequences they cannot escape. They believe they were battling a person, a human they could intimidate or overpower. But what they fail to understand is that they have challenged God Himself. And no one who fights against God can ever win. So stand firm and unshaken. You are protected, not by chance, but by divine design. Every attack against you is met with divine justice, and those who dare to cross that sacred boundary will answer to a power far greater than themselves. They might look like they're winning right now. Their schemes seem to be working, and it may even appear that they are getting away with their actions. But don't be fooled. God's timing is flawless. Divine justice doesn't rush, but it never arrives late. Every move they make is already known. Every hidden motive already exposed before the throne of God. He is watching, waiting for the perfect moment to act. And when that moment comes, it will be more powerful and more precise than anything they could have ever prepared for. What they celebrate as victory is nothing more than the calm before the storm. God allows them to move forward, to grow more confident in their wicked ways, not because He is absent, but because His patience is a space for repentance. His delay is not weakness, it is mercy. He gives them time to change, to turn away from their wrongdoings. But if they refuse, if they continue down the path of destruction, judgment will come. And when it does, it will be swift, undeniable, and unstoppable. Their carefully built plans will crumble. Their false confidence will turn into panic. Every weapon they formed against you will break in their own hands. The power they thought they had will vanish like smoke. God's justice is absolute. No one can outrun it. No one can hide from it. And when it finally comes, it will strike exactly where it hurts the most, leaving no doubt that it was God who brought it to pass. So stay patient, stay faithful. The storm is coming, and God will not be mocked. Let them plot, let them scheme, because every attack against you only brings them closer to their own destruction. You are not alone. You are protected by forces greater than anything they can comprehend. Your strength isn't in retaliation, but in your alignment with divine purpose. You are covered, shielded, and upheld by the Most High. Stay strong, stay faithful, and remember, the battle is already won. If this message has stirred your spirit, don't forget to subscribe, share this truth, and join this growing community of warriors walking in divine power. The best is yet to come. Stay blessed, and may this season bring you peace, joy, and the overflow of God's favor. Have you ever wondered why your life seems to draw so much attention? Why every move you make feels like it's being scrutinized, questioned, and sometimes even opposed? This is not a coincidence. You are not just existing, you are living with a divine purpose so powerful that it naturally attracts both curiosity and envy. This isn't something to fear, it's confirmation of the calling on your life. Your light stirs something deep in others, compelling them to seek answers, and sometimes that search leads them to a truth they never expected. Before we dive deeper into this transformative story, let's take a moment to honor you, our incredible audience. Your unwavering support keeps this message alive. If you've ever felt inspired by these truths, comment 99 below as a sign of faith and divine completeness. And to those who have contributed through super thanks, your generosity is more than appreciated. It's a divine seed sown to uplift countless souls. Now imagine this. Someone hires a private investigator to uncover your flaws, confident that they will expose your weaknesses. But as they dig deeper, they don't find what they expected. Instead, they discover something extraordinary, a light so radiant and undeniable that it transforms them. They thought they were exposing you, but they became witnesses to the divine purpose guiding your life. The private investigator took on the assignment with absolute confidence, fully believing it would be a straightforward task. To them, it was routine, a job like any other. They assumed they would quickly uncover secrets, hidden flaws, or past mistakes that could be exploited and used against you. They expected to peel back the layers of your life and find something incriminating, something ordinary, something human. After all, no one is perfect, and surely, they thought, you couldn't be either. This belief filled them with certainty and made their mission seem effortless. But as they began their investigation, something unexpected happened. The deeper they dug into your life, the more their certainty began to crumble. What they encountered was far from what they anticipated. There were no dark secrets, no hidden scandals, no vulnerabilities to expose. Instead, they found something they couldn't explain, a radiant strength that seemed to grow stronger with every discovery they made. It was as if every piece of your life they examined only led them closer to a divine truth they were utterly unprepared to face. Your spiritual resilience was undeniable. Your authenticity, so pure and unshakable, stood as a solid foundation that no accusation could fracture. Your unwavering purpose shone brightly, a beacon of light that could not be dimmed. These qualities weren't ordinary. They were evidence of something far greater than human strength. It became clear that your life was not just a series of events, but a carefully woven narrative guided by a higher power. Each chapter they tried to dissect only revealed a deeper layer of grace, purpose, and divine protection. They began to realize they were not just investigating a person. They were confronting the undeniable hand of God over your life. Like staring directly into the sun, they were blinded by the brilliance of your divine calling. The energy they sought to dismantle wasn't something fragile or fleeting. It was rooted in something eternal, a divine force that cannot be measured, contained, or destroyed. This wasn't simply an investigation anymore. It had become a direct confrontation with God's unshakable plan for your life. Their mission was doomed from the very beginning, not because they were incompetent or careless, but because they were up against something far beyond their understanding. Psalm 27:1 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" That light within you didn't just illuminate, it overwhelmed the darkness, leaving no room for the shadows they hoped to exploit. They expected to find skeletons in your closet, but instead, they stumbled upon profound truths that shattered their expectations. The more they searched for weaknesses, the more they encountered a divine strength that was untouchable. Every attempt to undermine you only led them deeper into the realization that your life is wrapped in divine favor. They couldn't understand it, and they certainly couldn't fight it. The very energy they aimed to dismantle was beyond their reach. It was a spiritual force, a divine presence that silences every attack and renders every scheme powerless. What they intended to be your downfall became their awakening. They were no longer just investigators. They had become unwilling witnesses to the undeniable power of God's purpose in your life. Think of Joseph in Genesis 37. His story is one of betrayal, suffering, and ultimately, divine elevation. Joseph was favored by his father Jacob and gifted with a richly ornamented coat, symbolizing his unique place in the family. But it was not the coat alone that stirred envy in his brothers. It was the dreams God placed in Joseph's heart, dreams of leadership, of greatness, of divine purpose. His brothers, consumed by jealousy, couldn't stand the thought of Joseph rising above them. Their envy sharpened into resentment, and resentment hardened into action. In their bitterness, they conspired against him. They stripped him of his coat, the outward symbol of favor, and sold him into slavery, believing they had erased the advantage God had given him. They thought they had silenced him, buried his dreams, and destroyed his future. Yet, what they didn't realize was that their betrayal became the very path God used to elevate Joseph. Joseph's journey was not easy. He was sold into slavery, falsely accused, and imprisoned. But through every trial, God's hand was upon him. Every setback was a setup for something greater. In the depths of his suffering, Joseph developed wisdom, strength, and resilience that prepared him for leadership. Eventually, he rose to become the second most powerful man in Egypt. And when famine struck the land, it was Joseph's position that allowed him to save countless lives, including the very brothers who had betrayed him. Years later, those same brothers bowed before Joseph, unaware of who he was. When they finally realized his identity, they feared retribution. But Joseph, filled with divine understanding, spoke words that resonate through time. "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Now reflect on your own life. Perhaps someone close to you has conspired against you. Someone who once stood beside you but could not bear to witness your growth. Maybe their jealousy turned into resentment, and their resentment into action, much like Joseph's brothers. They may have orchestrated an investigation into your life, hoping to uncover flaws or mistakes, believing they could tarnish your reputation or halt your progress. But they failed to understand that the favor on your life cannot be erased by human schemes. What they meant for harm is already being transformed for your good. Their attempts to tear you down have become the very stepping stones God is using to elevate you. Every scheme against you is now part of a larger plan, a divine design that is positioning you for something far greater than you could imagine. Just as Joseph's trials prepared him for leadership, your challenges are refining you for your divine purpose. Every betrayal, every false accusation, every attempt to undermine you is being woven into God's perfect plan. Your adversaries have unknowingly become instruments in the process of your elevation. Remember this: no human action can override God's intention for your life. Their schemes are powerless against His divine purpose. What they plotted in secret will only serve to highlight the strength, grace, and favor God has placed upon you. Like Joseph, you are being prepared for a position of influence and impact, and in time, those who sought to harm you will see the fullness of God's plan revealed. Stand firm in this truth. Their actions cannot stop what God has ordained. Let their attempts to harm you be a confirmation of your calling. Every step they take against you is only pushing you closer to your divine destiny. Reflect on the story of Daniel in Daniel 6, a powerful example of how unwavering faith can turn plots of destruction into platforms for God's glory. Daniel was a man of integrity, wisdom, and deep devotion to God. His faithfulness earned him favor with King Darius, who planned to elevate Daniel to a position of great authority over the entire kingdom. But this favor sparked jealousy among the other officials and administrators. They could not tolerate Daniel's rise and sought to bring him down. Driven by envy, these men conspired against Daniel. They scrutinized his life, searching for any flaw or mistake that could discredit him. Yet, they found nothing. Daniel was blameless in his duties and faultless in his character. Frustrated, they realized that the only way to trap him was through his faith in God. So they devised a deceptive plan, convincing King Darius to sign a decree that prohibited anyone from praying to any god or human other than the king for 30 days. The punishment for disobedience was severe, being thrown into a den of lions. Daniel, aware of this decree, remained steadfast. He did not hide or waver. He continued to pray openly, just as he had always done, demonstrating his unshakable trust in God. Daniel's enemies thought they had won. They believed their scheme would lead to his destruction, but they greatly underestimated the power of the God Daniel served. Thrown into the lion's den, Daniel should have been devoured. Yet God sent his angel to shut the mouths of the lions, and Daniel emerged unharmed. His faith didn't just protect him, it magnified God's glory. Now reflect on your own life. Just like Daniel, you may have people who plot against you, hoping to expose your weaknesses or undermine your progress. They examine your life, searching for faults to exploit, but find nothing substantial. Frustrated, they target your character, your values, and your divine purpose. They think their schemes can derail your destiny, but they cannot. Every attack against you has only highlighted the strength of your foundation. Their attempts to discredit you have revealed not weakness, but resilience. Their accusations have crumbled under the weight of your authenticity and the undeniable favor of God on your life. Isaiah 54:17 declares, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." This is more than just scripture. It is the living reality of your existence. The weapons formed against you may be sharp and intentional, but they are powerless against God's protection. Like Daniel, your faith and unwavering trust in God have turned every trap set for your downfall into a stage for His glory. Those who have conspired against you will witness your rise. Their own schemes will collapse, and the very attacks meant to harm you will become testimonies of God's faithfulness in your life. Your enemies will stand speechless, unable to comprehend how every obstacle they placed before you became a stepping stone toward your divine elevation. No scheme, no slander, no strategy formed against you can succeed. Like Daniel, you are covered by God's unbreakable protection. Your steadfast faith is your greatest defense, and God will continue to use every attempt against you to reveal His glory. Imagine the investigator, once so confident in their mission, slowly realizing that their assignment was far more than uncovering flaws. It was an intrusion into something sacred. What they believed would be a simple task of exposing weakness turned into something deeply unsettling. Every file they opened, every detail they scrutinized, didn't reveal failure but instead echoed with undeniable divine purpose. With each discovery, the investigator began to sense the weight of what they were truly confronting. The pieces of your life didn't form a narrative of mistakes, but a tapestry of resilience, grace, and unwavering faith. The more they searched, the more they saw life intricately woven by God's hand. Their task, once clear, now felt like a violation of something holy. The deeper they went, the heavier the burden of guilt became. They began questioning their motives, recognizing the cracks in their own character. Their mission no longer made sense. They were no longer just investigating you. They were being forced to confront their own insecurities, their own moral failures. Like the Pharisees in John 8:7, who brought a woman before Jesus to be condemned and were met with his piercing words, "Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone." The investigator faced a truth they couldn't ignore. Just as those accusers slowly walked away, unable to justify their judgment, the investigators' pursuit unraveled. Their mission crumbled under the weight of divine truth. What was meant to harm you only exposed their own flaws, leaving them defeated not by force, but by the undeniable presence of God in your life. But the most profound and undeniable moment came when the investigator followed the evidence to its true source, the very people who had hired them. What began as a mission to uncover your flaws slowly unraveled into a trail of deceit, manipulation, and hidden agendas. The shadows they pursued did not surround you. Instead, they led straight back to the ones operating behind the scenes. The true darkness wasn't in your life, but in the hearts of those who orchestrated the entire scheme. Proverbs 26:27 says, "Whoever digs a pit will fall into it. If someone rolls a stone, it will roll back on them." This scripture came to life as their carefully crafted plot collapsed in on itself. The traps they set for you became snares for their own feet. Every lie they spun, every scheme they devised, recoiled with devastating force. What they intended as a weapon against you became the very tool of their downfall. This is the essence of God's divine reversal. It wasn't through confrontation or retaliation that their plans were destroyed. It was through the sovereign hand of God. Every attempt to discredit you became a platform for your vindication. Their deceit exposed only their own guilt, and their power crumbled beneath the weight of truth. God turned their evil intentions into undeniable proof of His favor and protection over your life. What they meant for harm has been transformed into evidence of your divine calling. Their failure was not accidental. It was inevitable, for no scheme can stand against the will of God. Chosen one, what will you do now with this truth? Will you let their failed attempts distract you, or will you stand firm in your calling? Isaiah 41:10 reminds you, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Walk boldly." Your life is not ordinary, it's a divine testimony. Their schemes have only confirmed what God has already declared over you. Every attempt to break you has only made you stronger. Let their failure be your confirmation. You are chosen, you are shielded, you are unshakable. So stand tall, chosen one. The world may scrutinize you, but they cannot comprehend the power within you. You are a reflection of God's glory, a living, breathing testament to His divine purpose. If this message has stirred something within you, comment 99 below as a sign of faith and divine completeness. Like and share this message so others can step into their calling. May God continue to protect you, guide you, and elevate you beyond every scheme. You are chosen. You are unstoppable. You are destined for greatness. Amen. There are moments in life that are more than mere coincidences. If you're here, reading these words, it is not by accident. You have been led to this very moment for a reason far greater than you can comprehend. God's hand has guided you here because something extraordinary is about to unfold in your life. This is not just another message. It is a divine calling. A life-changing meeting with God is drawing near, and your soul has been prepared for this moment. This is not a fleeting thought or a distant hope. This is your time for transformation, alignment, and awakening to your divine purpose. You are a chosen one, and God is preparing you for a sacred encounter that will shift the very foundation of your life. You will soon witness changes that will leave you in awe. But to fully embrace this divine meeting, you must first understand how to align yourself with the powerful spiritual energy flowing into your life. Before we dive deeper into this transformative message, take a moment to pause and do 3 important things. Like this message to affirm your readiness, subscribe to join this growing community of awakened souls, and comment the number 99 below to activate the divine energy surrounding you. This small act symbolizes your openness to receive and amplifies the spiritual power moving through this moment. If you feel that undeniable pull in your spirit, trust it. This message is meant for you. Watch until the end, because your soul recognizes this truth. You were destined to hear this today. If you're ready to step into the life God has prepared for you, brace yourself, because everything is about to change. In the stillness of your heart, have you ever felt a quiet, persistent pull, as if something monumental is about to unfold? This is not your imagination. It is the divine whisper calling you towards something greater. That tug in your spirit is God aligning your steps for a profound encounter. You may not know the details yet, but deep inside you sense it. This isn't an ordinary event. It's not something you can prepare for with worldly actions. This is a spiritual awakening, a shift in your very soul. God has meticulously crafted this moment, and it is perfectly timed. Every experience you've had, every joy, every heartache, has led you here. The path ahead may not look like you expected, but trust this: you are ready. This isn't about physical change. It's about spiritual elevation. You are being called to rise higher, to embrace your divine purpose with boldness. The ordinary life you once knew is fading because you were never meant to live in mediocrity. You were chosen for greatness, and now is the time to answer that call. Look back on your life for a moment. Reflect on every high and low, every success and setback, every moment of joy and every season of pain. None of it was by chance. Every challenge you faced, every obstacle you overcame, and even every unexpected detour was part of God's intricate and intentional design. You may not have understood it in the moment, but each experience was divinely orchestrated to shape you, mold you, and prepare you for the sacred encounter that is now drawing near. Nothing in your life has been random. The trials you've endured were never meant to break you. They were refining you. Each hardship built resilience within you, strengthening your spirit and deepening your faith. The moments of doubt were opportunities to lean into God's promises, to trust Him even when the path was unclear. And those who walked away from your life did so because God is making room for new connections, divine alignments, and blessings beyond what you can imagine. Every loss was a setup for greater gain. Every closed door was a redirection, not a rejection. Understand this: you are exactly where you are meant to be. Every step, every tear, every victory has led you here, right into the center of God's perfect will. And now, He is about to reveal the reason behind it all. Being chosen is not a title. It's a sacred responsibility and a profound blessing. God has seen something extraordinary in you. He has placed within you a unique gift, a powerful calling that only you can fulfill. It won't always be an easy road, but what lies ahead is far greater, far more beautiful, and far more purposeful than anything you've had to leave behind. Trust in His plan, for it is unfolding perfectly, and you are ready to walk boldly into your divine destiny. The divine encounter you are about to experience is not about moving to a different place or changing your physical surroundings. It is far more profound than that. This is a spiritual awakening, a deep and powerful alignment of your soul with God's perfect plan for your life. It is an invitation to rise into a higher version of yourself, one that fully understands, accepts, and walks boldly in the divine power and authority placed within you. This awakening will unlock gifts, strengths, and a purpose that have been quietly growing inside you, waiting for the right moment to emerge. That moment is now. But this transformation will not happen without change. It requires you to release the old, to let go of limiting beliefs, unhealthy patterns, and relationships that no longer align with the person God is calling you to become. This is not a loss but a divine preparation. You are being pruned, refined, and purified to make space for something far greater than anything you've held onto in the past. What you are releasing cannot go with you into this next season because it was never meant to sustain you at the level God is taking you to. It's natural to feel uneasy, uncertain, or even afraid during this transition. But understand this, that discomfort is not punishment. It is your soul stretching, expanding, and preparing for the incredible new chapter ahead. Just as a seed must break open to grow, you are breaking free from what once confined you. Trust this process. Embrace the refining. God is preparing you for a life that is far beyond the ordinary, a life filled with divine purpose, power, and fulfillment. What's coming is greater than anything you can imagine, and every step of this transformation is leading you closer to it. How do you know this moment is near? God leaves signs for His chosen ones, and they are all around you if you pay attention. One of the first signs that this divine moment is approaching is a profound sense of inner restlessness. This is not the kind of anxiety that stems from fear or worry, but rather a deep, unshakable feeling that something significant is about to happen. It's as if your spirit knows that change is near, and your soul is beginning to awaken to new possibilities. You may find yourself feeling dissatisfied with routines or longing for something more, something greater. This is divine anticipation. God is stirring your heart, making you aware that you are on the brink of a major shift. It's His way of moving you out of comfort and into readiness. As this divine moment approaches, you will notice your intuition becoming sharper and more attuned to God's voice. What once felt like random thoughts will now feel like clear guidance. You may receive sudden insights, feel strong nudges in your spirit, or experience an inner knowing that leads you toward specific actions. God speaks in whispers, through scripture, through people, and through the quiet voice in your heart. When His guidance becomes clearer and more consistent, it's a sign that He is actively leading you toward your next divine assignment. Pay close attention to these spiritual nudges. They are intentional and meant to guide you forward. Another sign that your divine moment is near is the sudden shifting of relationships and opportunities in your life. People who no longer align with your purpose may begin to drift away. This can feel painful, but it is necessary. God is removing relationships, habits, and environments that cannot support the next level of your journey. At the same time, new people and opportunities will begin to appear, often unexpectedly. These new connections are not random. They are divinely placed to support and elevate you as you step into your calling. Recognize these shifts as part of God's greater plan, clearing space for what is meant to flourish in your life. What once brought you comfort and joy may now feel empty or unfulfilling. You might find yourself losing interest in old habits, passions, or even career paths. This sense of detachment is not accidental. It is God's invitation for you to release what no longer serves your highest purpose. He is gently pushing you to let go of the familiar, to make room for the extraordinary. This process of letting go might be uncomfortable, but it is necessary. You cannot carry old mindsets, relationships, or burdens into the new season God is preparing for you. None of these signs are coincidences. They are God's way of communicating with you, preparing your heart, mind, and spirit for what is to come. Every restless feeling, every shift in relationships, every divine nudge is part of His perfect plan to bring you closer to the sacred meeting that will transform your life. One of the greatest and most challenging steps in stepping into your divine purpose is learning to let go. Letting go of the familiar, the comfortable, and the safe can feel overwhelming, yet it is a necessary part of your spiritual growth. This process is not meant to harm or punish you. It is God's way of elevating you. He is calling you to release the things that have kept you small, confined, and limited, so that you can step fully into the vastness and greatness of your divine calling. Letting go may involve walking away from relationships that no longer align with your purpose, releasing habits that hinder your growth, or even leaving behind careers or environments that once defined you. These things may have served you in the past, but they cannot sustain you where God is leading you. It can be painful to release what once felt essential to your identity, but understand this: God is not asking you to let go to leave you empty. He is making room for something far more fulfilling and meaningful than you could ever imagine. This release is necessary for your growth and freedom. It is in surrendering the old that you create space for the new blessings, opportunities, and relationships that will nourish your spirit and align with your higher purpose. Trust that this departure is not the end, but a powerful beginning. God is leading you towards something far greater, something that will bring you deeper joy, lasting peace, and purpose beyond your wildest dreams. Embrace the process of letting go with faith, knowing that what lies ahead is more extraordinary than anything you leave behind. God's plan for you is unfolding perfectly, and every step of this release is preparing you for the incredible life He has designed just for you. Do you feel it deep within you? That growing urgency, that persistent stirring in your spirit? It's not anxiety or restlessness without cause. It's divine momentum. God is awakening something powerful inside of you, a call that can no longer be ignored. This is not a fleeting feeling. It is a divine signal that now is the time to move, to act, and to step boldly into your God-given purpose. You may find yourself feeling unsettled, as if the life you've been living no longer fits who you are becoming. There's a tug at your heart, a quiet but undeniable voice urging you to pursue something greater, something far more meaningful than anything you've done before. This is God's way of saying, the time is now. He is calling you forward, guiding you to step out in faith and embrace the destiny He has prepared for you. Understand this: you don't need to have everything figured out. You don't need to wait until you feel fully prepared or until all the pieces fall into place. God is not looking for perfection. He is looking for a willing heart. Your readiness is not measured by how much you know or how capable you feel. It is measured by your willingness to trust Him and take that first step. That sense of urgency is a divine invitation. God is aligning opportunities, opening doors, and making a way for you. All He asks is that you move forward in faith. Trust that He will provide everything you need along the way. The time for hesitation is over. This is your moment to rise. Step boldly into your purpose, for God has already gone ahead of you, preparing the way. You might find yourself asking, why is this happening now? Why not sooner when I felt more ready? Why not later when I might feel more prepared? But God's timing is never early and never late. It is always perfect. Every delay you've experienced, every closed door that left you wondering, and every long season of waiting was not wasted. It was all intentional. God has been carefully orchestrating every detail of your life, aligning circumstances, people, and opportunities in ways you cannot yet see. What felt like setbacks were actually setups. Those unanswered prayers and detours were divine pauses, designed to strengthen your character, deepen your faith, and prepare your heart for what's coming. God has been working behind the scenes, arranging things in perfect order so that when the time is right, everything will unfold effortlessly and beautifully. Had it happened any sooner, you may not have been ready to carry the weight of the blessing. Had it happened later, you might have missed the divine alignment. The waiting was never meant to harm you but to prepare you. In the stillness, God was shaping you, molding you into the person capable of stepping into this new season. Trust that every moment of waiting has brought you to this exact point for a reason. Now is the appointed time. The doors that once seemed closed will begin to open, the opportunities you thought were lost will resurface, and the purpose you've longed for will become clear. God's perfect timing is about to reveal a plan far greater than anything you could have imagined. Trust Him. He is never late. The greatest and most profound transformation you will ever experience is the moment you fully recognize who you truly are. You are not ordinary. You are not overlooked. You are not forgotten. You are a chosen one, handpicked by God Himself for a divine mission that only you can fulfill. Within you lies a unique purpose, a calling so significant that it was woven into the very fabric of your being long before you took your first breath. This divine meeting that is drawing near will not only reveal God's plan for your life, but will also awaken you to the incredible power and authority that has been within you all along. For so long, you may have questioned your worth, doubted your abilities, or felt limited by your circumstances. But this encounter will strip away every doubt and replace it with unshakable confidence in who God created you to be. You will come to understand your purpose with a clarity that silences confusion, a peace that calms every fear, and a momentum that propels you forward with unstoppable force. The pieces of your life, every struggle, every victory, every delay, will suddenly make sense. You will see how God has been preparing you for this very moment, equipping you with every tool, gift, and experience necessary to fulfill your divine assignment. This is not a small awakening. It is a full realization of your divine identity. You were created for more. You were chosen to rise, to lead, and to impact the world in ways beyond your imagination. Embrace this truth, for stepping into this realization will unlock doors you never thought possible. Your life is about to align perfectly with God's greater purpose, and nothing will be the same again. Chosen one, this is your moment. The life-changing encounter you've been waiting for is near. Everything in your life has prepared you for this. The path ahead may be uncertain, but you are not alone. God is guiding you every step of the way. Trust the process. Release the old. Embrace the new. Your spiritual awakening is unfolding, and your divine mission is calling. This is your time. Step boldly into your destiny. If you feel the truth of this message stirring in your spirit, affirm it now. Like this message, subscribe to join this journey, and comment 99 below to declare your readiness. Your transformation is closer than you think, and when it happens, everything will change. You are here for a reason. Stop everything else and focus, because what you're about to hear will change your life forever. This message is not for everyone. It is specifically for the chosen ones, those handpicked by God for His divine purpose. If you are unsure whether this is for you, take a moment to listen. If it resonates, it's because it was meant for you. If not, feel free to turn away. But know this: those who stay to the end will discover a truth so powerful, it will transform your heart, spirit, and destiny. I am here as a messenger, a vessel for the Most High God, delivering a word that can no longer wait. This is not a message of comfort, but of urgency and fire, a message that burns within my spirit and must be released. Listen carefully. You are standing at the threshold of your final test. This is not just another challenge. It is the ultimate test, the one that will determine whether you break through to your destiny or remain in the wilderness of waiting. It is the test that will separate the ready from the unready, the faithful from the wavering. Until you pass this test, nothing will change. Every door will remain shut, every effort will feel futile, and every step forward will seem like walking in circles. But if you overcome, everything will shift. This is not a time for pretty words or false comfort. This is a wake-up call, a truth that will ignite your soul and propel you into action. Are you ready to receive it? If so, prepare your heart and let these words sink deep into your spirit. This test is not about your strength, intelligence, or accomplishments. It is about the condition of your heart, the depth of your faith, and your ability to endure. It is about whether you can hold on to God's promises when everything around you suggests giving up. It's about trusting Him in the silence, leaning into His will during the storms, and remaining steadfast when life feels unbearable. Look at Joseph, a man chosen by God for greatness. God gave Joseph dreams, visions of leadership, and a destiny that would elevate him above his brothers. But before Joseph could step into the promise, he was plunged into a season of testing. Betrayed by his own family, sold into slavery, and falsely accused, Joseph found himself in prison, seemingly forgotten and far from the dreams God had shown him. Yet these trials were not a punishment. They were a divine preparation. Why did God allow Joseph to endure such hardships? Because Joseph wasn't ready for the palace until he had been refined in the pit. The trials weren't meant to break him, but to shape him. God wasn't just preparing the blessing for Joseph. He was preparing Joseph to carry the blessing with humility, wisdom, and strength. In the same way, God is working in your life. The test you are enduring is not to harm you, but to refine you. It is stripping away everything that could hinder your divine calling: fear, doubt, pride, insecurity. It is cultivating in you a faith that cannot be shaken, a trust in God that is unwavering, and a heart that is fully surrendered. Isaiah 48:10 declares, "I have refined you, though not as silver. I have tested you in the furnace of affliction." The furnace is not a place of punishment. It is a place of transformation. God allows the heat of trials to burn away impurities and strengthen the character required for your destiny. His primary focus is not on what He's giving you, but on who you are becoming in the process. Understand this: God's blessings are never just for your enjoyment. They are entrusted to those who can steward them for His glory. The transformation happening within you is essential because the weight of your calling is too great to be carried by unprepared hands. This test, though painful, is shaping you into a vessel worthy of God's purpose. Embrace it, for your transformation is the key to unlocking the promise. When you emerge, you will be stronger, wiser, and ready to walk fully in the destiny God has prepared for you. Hold on, chosen one. This refining process is creating in you a heart that reflects the very image of God. The promise is near. Some of you find yourselves in a place that feels all too familiar, a place where prayers for breakthroughs seem to go unanswered, where every effort to move forward feels blocked, and where the circumstances you long to change remain stubbornly the same. You've asked why. You've cried out to God for answers. And here's the hard truth: you didn't pass the test. Like the Israelites, who wandered in the wilderness for 40 years, you've been circling the same mountains of delay, frustration, and disappointment. The Israelites doubted God's promises and allowed fear to dictate their actions. Instead of trusting the one who had parted the Red Sea, they complained, hesitated, and disobeyed. As a result, they delayed their destiny and missed the victory that could have been theirs much sooner. But this doesn't have to be your story. God's will for your life is not endless wandering, but victorious living. The test you're facing now is not meant to defeat you. It is designed to elevate you. God's desire is to move you forward, to open doors, and to bring you into the fullness of His promises. But He cannot do that until you are ready. The test before you is not punishment, it is preparation. Pass this test, and every barrier holding you back will break. Pass this test, and you will step into a new season of divine purpose and fulfillment. Consider Jesus, our ultimate example. Before He began His ministry, He was led by the Spirit into the wilderness, a place of testing. For 40 days and nights, He endured hunger, faced relentless temptation, and battled the enemy Himself. Yet, this time in the wilderness was not a punishment. It was preparation. It was here that his obedience was tested, his faith was solidified, and his mission was clarified. The wilderness was necessary. Without the wilderness, there would have been no cross. Without the cross, there would have been no resurrection. And without the resurrection, there would be no victory over sin and death. Jesus' time of testing was not just for him, it was for us. It paved the way for the ultimate triumph that changed eternity. Your wilderness serves a similar purpose. It is not a dead end. It is the pathway to your promise. It is shaping you, refining you, and aligning you with God's will. The breakthrough you seek, the victory you long for, and the purpose you desire are all on the other side of this test. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back. Trust that God's plans are good, that His promises are true, and that He is working all things together for your good. This test is your gateway to greater things. Step into it with faith, endure it with trust, and emerge victorious, ready to fulfill the destiny God has prepared for you. You cannot pray this test away, skip it, or avoid it. No amount of pleading will cause God to remove the refining process, because it is not born out of cruelty, but out of His deep, abiding love for you. He knows that the blessing you've been asking for, the promotion, the relationship, the calling, is not just a gift, it's a responsibility. Without the foundation of faith, character, and endurance forged in the fire, the very blessing you desire could overwhelm and crush you. God loves you far too much to allow that to happen. Instead, He places you in the fire, not to destroy you, but to refine you, to shape you into the person capable of carrying the weight of His purpose. 2 Corinthians 4:17 reminds us, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." The struggles you are enduring now, the unanswered prayers, the long waits, the heartaches, are not without purpose. They are temporary, but the glory they are producing is eternal. The fire of testing may feel overwhelming, but it is burning away the impurities that cannot go with you into your destiny: fear, doubt, pride, and any reliance on your own strength. Think of a blacksmith refining silver. The process involves intense heat, enough to melt away every impurity, leaving only the purest form of the metal behind. This is what God is doing in you. The flames may feel fierce, but they are under His control. He is the master craftsman, carefully tending the fire to ensure it doesn't consume you, but instead refines and strengthens you. He is not punishing you, He is preparing you. This refining process is not about withholding your promise. It is about ensuring that both you and the promise are ready. The glory that awaits you on the other side of this test is far greater than the pain of enduring it. The character, wisdom, and faith you gain in this season will not only prepare you for the blessing, but will also enable you to sustain it and glorify God through it. You cannot rush this process because it is essential for your transformation. The person you are becoming matters more to God than the blessing itself. He is not just answering your prayers. He is elevating your spirit, deepening your trust, and aligning your heart with His divine purpose. Failing this test means more than just a temporary setback. It means remaining stuck in the same frustrating cycles of waiting, delay, and unfulfilled promises. It means circling the same mountain of doubt and disappointment, unable to move forward into the fullness of what God has planned for your life. But listen closely. You don't have to stay there. You don't have to repeat the same patterns or live in a perpetual state of almost. God's plan for you is not one of stagnation, but one of hope, victory, and divine purpose. The test you're facing is not meant to destroy you. It is meant to shape you. God is using this moment to prepare you for what's ahead. The blessings you've been praying for are not just rewards. They are responsibilities. To carry them well, you must first become the person God has called you to be. Strong in faith, unwavering in trust, and aligned with His will. This is your moment. Chosen one. The test before you is not an obstacle. It is the key to your breakthrough. It is the bridge between who you are now and who God has destined you to become. It is refining you, strengthening you, and readying you for the next level of your calling. Do not let fear or frustration cause you to give up. Stand firm in the face of the trial, knowing that God is working all things for your good. Pass this test, and you will step into a season of transformation, victory, and purpose beyond anything you've imagined. The path to your destiny starts here. Walk boldly into it with faith. The same power that raised Jesus from the dead, the power of resurrection, triumph, and unshakable victory, lives within you. This is not just a comforting thought. It is a divine reality. You are not alone in the battle you face. Heaven is fighting for you, and all of God's promises are standing firm on your behalf. Jeremiah 29:11 assures us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." But stepping into that future requires something of you. It demands endurance to press on when the road is long, faith to trust God when His plans are unclear, and surrender to release control and submit fully to His will. These qualities are not easy to cultivate, but they are essential for unlocking the life God has prepared for you. Do not fear the fire you are walking through. It may feel intense, but it is not meant to consume you. It is refining you, purifying you, and preparing you for the greatness that lies ahead. Resist the urge to escape the process or rush its timing. God is faithful. What He has begun in you, He will bring to completion. Trust the One who holds the fire and know that every moment of this journey is working for your good. You are being shaped into a vessel of honor, equipped to carry the blessings and purpose God has ordained for your life. Hold on, chosen one, for the power of God within you is greater than anything you face, and His plans for you are far beyond what you could ever imagine. Let us pray together. Heavenly Father, Almighty Creator of heaven and earth, we come before you with hearts full of reverence. You are holy, righteous, and sovereign over all. We call upon your presence in this moment, asking you to move mightily in our lives. Lord, we are in the midst of a test that feels overwhelming, stretching us to our limits. But we declare today that we will not face this test in our own strength. We call upon you, the God who strengthens the weary and increases the power of the weak. Father, refine us in this fire. Strip away every fear, doubt, pride, and unbelief. Shape us into vessels of honor, ready to carry the weight of your glory. We declare that this test is not the end. It is the beginning of our breakthrough. You are opening doors that no one can shut and making ways where there seem to be none. Chains are breaking, strongholds are falling, and miracles are being released. Lord, bless every person connected to this message. Surround them with your favor, protect them from the enemy, and pour out blessings they cannot contain. Let this season of testing prepare them for a season of victory. In Jesus' mighty name, we pray. Amen. If this message has stirred something deep within you, don't let this moment pass. Take a bold step of faith and declare in the comments, "Jesus, I surrender myself to you." This is not just a statement. It is a proclamation of trust, faith, and your commitment to stepping into the destiny God has prepared for you. Your words have power, and this simple act of surrender can mark the beginning of a life-changing journey. We also invite you to join us in spreading God's truth and hope to others. By liking, sharing, and subscribing to this channel, you're not just supporting a mission, you're sowing seeds into the kingdom of God. Every act of engagement helps carry this message to hearts that desperately need to hear it, transforming lives and igniting faith around the world. Your partnership in this mission matters more than you know. Chosen one. Remember this: your wilderness is not your destination. It is the pathway to your promise. God is working in you, refining you, and preparing you for something greater. Pass this test and step boldly into the fullness of your divine destiny. Heaven is cheering you on, and the world is waiting for you to rise. Thank you for being part of this journey, and for standing with us in faith. Together, we are spreading hope, sharing truth, and building a legacy for God's glory. Your breakthrough is near. Keep going, and trust that God's promises will never fail. Stay connected and let's continue this journey of faith together. Hello, dear friends. Today, I want to speak to you about a topic that deeply resonates with many of us: isolation. Have you ever felt alone, as if you've been distanced from the people, places, or situations that once felt like the core of your life? Maybe it seems like doors are closing, that invitations no longer come your way, or that you've suddenly become invisible to the world around you. If this is something you're experiencing, I want to assure you that you are not forgotten. Instead, you are being chosen. When God isolates someone, it is not to destroy, but to transform. He does not hide his chosen ones without purpose. Isolation is often a divine setup for a greater revelation, a sign that something extraordinary is on the horizon. It is a time of preparation, protection, and empowerment. In today's message, we will journey together to uncover the 7 reasons why God isolates the chosen. If you have felt distant, unseen, or even rejected, know that this journey has a purpose. God is working within you, shaping your character, and preparing you for the extraordinary mission He has set before you. Each of us has a unique calling, and isolation is often a necessary part of the process. Before we dive in, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. This way, you won't miss any of the inspiring messages we share here, all designed to encourage and uplift your faith journey. Now let's embark on this powerful exploration of why God chooses to isolate those He has called. Number 1. God isolates to protect you. Often we desire to be in places that seem good, to be part of groups, or to connect with people we admire. However, what we cannot see, God sees. His vision is infinitely broader and deeper. He knows the intentions of every heart and understands the hidden dangers beneath the surface. Sometimes God removes us from environments that appear harmless or even attractive, but are, in reality, harmful to our spiritual, emotional, or mental well-being. This divine distancing is not rejection but protection. God's isolation shields us from relationships, opportunities, and influences that could derail our faith or damage our purpose. Not everyone who enters your life has good intentions. Some may seem kind but carry hidden motives, planting seeds of doubt, insecurity, or distraction. In His wisdom, God may distance you from such people to safeguard your calling. It can feel painful when relationships end, or when you're no longer included, but trust that God is working behind the scenes for your good. During this time, reflect on what truly matters. Use it as an opportunity to draw closer to God and to strengthen your discernment. By moving away from unhealthy connections, you create space for divine appointments, relationships, and opportunities that align with God's will. Number 2. God isolates to prepare you for greater things. Every chosen person in the Bible underwent a period of preparation before stepping into their God-ordained calling. Much like a seed must be buried in the darkness of the soil before it can sprout and flourish, you too may find yourself in a hidden season. This time of obscurity is not a punishment, but a necessary step in God's process of preparing you for the great purpose that lies ahead. Take the story of David. His triumph over Goliath may have been a defining moment, but it was far from the end of his journey. David didn't ascend to the throne immediately after his victory. Instead, he entered a long season of hardship and isolation. He spent years fleeing from King Saul, wandering through the wilderness, and leading a band of distressed, indebted, and discontented men. This group of societal outcasts, under David's guidance, became a loyal and courageous army. This period of isolation and adversity was not wasted. It was in these trials that God shaped David into the king he was destined to become. He developed the patience, resilience, and leadership skills necessary to shepherd an entire nation. David's time in the wilderness taught him to trust God deeply, rely on His timing, and lead with compassion and wisdom. Similarly, your season of isolation has a purpose. It is a time of pruning and refining, a process where God removes what no longer serves you and builds in you the character, strength, and faith required for your mission. This preparation is intentional, ensuring you are equipped to carry the weight of your calling. Promotion in God's kingdom is never rushed. He is deliberate and precise, ensuring His chosen ones are thoroughly prepared for the responsibilities ahead. So if you find yourself in a hidden season, take heart. Your isolation is not wasted. It is God's way of preparing you for something extraordinary, shaping you into the person He has called you to be. Trust the process, for when the time comes, you will be ready to step into your purpose. Number 3. God isolates to empower you. Isolation often brings challenges that test your limits, but within these trials lies an extraordinary opportunity for growth and empowerment. It is in solitude, when the distractions are stripped away, that you begin to uncover strengths, abilities, and qualities you never realized you had. These challenges are not meant to break you. They are designed by God to build you into the person He has called you to be. The story of David exemplifies how isolation can prepare you for greatness. Before he became king, David spent years on the run, hiding from King Saul in the wilderness. During this time, he gathered a group of men who were societal outcasts, discontented, in debt, and considered rejects by others. Yet, through David's leadership, these men transformed into a loyal and courageous army. This process was not easy. It required David to develop patience, resilience, and the ability to see beyond people's flaws, understanding their struggles and guiding them with compassion. Through isolation, David learned to rely on God completely, to trust His timing, and to lead with wisdom and humility. These lessons shaped him into a king after God's own heart, capable of uniting and shepherding an entire nation. Your challenges in isolation are similarly purposeful. They are a refining process, strengthening your faith, teaching you patience, and building your dependence on God. When you emerge from this season, you will not only carry a deeper understanding of who you are, but also a clearer vision of the unique calling God has placed on your life. Trust that the trials of isolation are preparing you for something far greater. They are shaping you into a person equipped with the character, strength, and faith necessary to fulfill God's extraordinary plans for your future. This is not the end. It is your preparation for what's to come. Number 4. God isolates to teach you. Dependence on Him. Isolation has a unique way of stripping away the distractions that so often clutter our lives, leaving us with one constant and unshakable source of comfort and guidance: God Himself. Far from being a punishment, isolation is an invitation to draw closer to Him, to lean on His presence, and to deepen your reliance on His wisdom and love. The story of Elijah beautifully illustrates this truth. After a dramatic showdown with the prophets of Baal, Elijah found himself fleeing into the wilderness, overcome by fear and discouragement in the face of Jezebel's threats. Alone and despondent, he prayed to God, even wishing for his life to end. Yet it was in this very moment of solitude that God met Elijah in a profound and personal way. God did not appear to Elijah in the wind, the earthquake, or the fire. He came in a gentle whisper. In that quiet moment, free from the chaos and distractions of the world, Elijah encountered the heart of God. This gentle interaction restored his strength, renewed his purpose, and prepared him to continue his mission. Your own season of isolation can be just as transformative. In the stillness, away from the noise of daily life, you have a unique opportunity to hear God's voice more clearly. It is in these quiet moments that your relationship with Him can deepen, your faith can grow stronger, and your purpose can become more defined. Do not resist this time of solitude. Instead, embrace it as a sacred season of spiritual renewal. Use it to seek God's presence, to listen for His whisper, and to allow His love and guidance to fill every corner of your heart. In the quiet, you will find strength, clarity, and the unmistakable peace that only God can provide. Number 5. God isolates to refine your character. God often uses isolation as a sacred tool to shape our hearts and refine our character. Just as gold is purified in the fire to remove impurities, isolation serves as a spiritual furnace, burning away the things that hinder our growth: pride, impatience, fear, and even self-reliance. Through this process, God replaces these flaws with virtues like humility, resilience, and a deeper trust in His plans. The story of Joseph is a powerful example of this refining process. Betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and wrongfully imprisoned, Joseph endured years of painful isolation. Yet, each trial he faced was a stepping stone in God's larger plan. In his time of solitude, Joseph was being prepared for greatness. He learned to trust God in the most challenging circumstances, to forgive those who wronged him, and to steward his gifts with wisdom and integrity. These qualities were essential for the monumental responsibility of governing Egypt and saving countless lives during a famine. Your trials are not random or meaningless. They are intentional moments in God's divine process of refining you. Isolation can feel lonely and unfair, but it is in these seasons that God does His deepest work within you. He is shaping your character, preparing your heart, and building the strength you will need to fulfill your purpose. Trust in this process, even when the purpose isn't clear. Just as Joseph's years of hardship positioned him for a life-changing elevation, your season of isolation is setting the stage for something far greater than you can imagine. Let God's refining fire mold you into the person He has called you to be, for His plans are always good, and His timing is always perfect. Number 6. God isolates to test and strengthen your faith. Isolation can be one of the most challenging experiences in life, often feeling like abandonment. Yet it is important to understand that these moments are not signs of God's absence, but rather opportunities for a deeper test of faith. The question arises, will you trust God even when you feel unseen, forgotten, or alone? Jesus Himself faced this in one of the most profound ways during His 40 days in the wilderness. Isolated and vulnerable, He was tempted by the devil, who sought to exploit His physical hunger and solitude. Yet Jesus did not falter. Instead, He leaned on the power of prayer and the truth of Scripture to overcome each temptation. His reliance on God during this period of isolation not only defeated the enemy, but also prepared Him for the ministry that lay ahead. Through this time of solitude, Jesus was strengthened spiritually, mentally, and emotionally to fulfill His mission of saving humanity. Your faith is much like a muscle. It only grows stronger when it is tested and stretched. In isolation, when circumstances feel bleak and answers seem distant, you are given the chance to trust God in ways that deepen your dependence on Him. This resistance, though uncomfortable, builds spiritual strength and prepares you for greater challenges ahead. Isolation is not a punishment, but a divine appointment, a sacred time where God works within you to strengthen your faith, sharpen your focus, and refine your purpose. It is in these moments that you learn to cling to God's promises, even when everything around you suggests otherwise. Trust in His presence and His plan, for the wilderness is never the end of the story. It is where faith is fortified and victories are won. Number 7. God isolates to elevate you. Finally, God isolates His chosen ones because elevation often requires intentional and thorough preparation. Before revealing someone to the world, God works on them in private, away from the distractions and noise of public life. This hidden season is where He refines their character, builds their faith, and equips them with the wisdom and resilience needed to fulfill their calling. Consider the story of Joseph, a young man who endured years of isolation and hardship before his destiny was fulfilled. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and wrongfully imprisoned, Joseph could have easily believed his life had no purpose. Yet God was working behind the scenes, preparing him for a position of unparalleled influence. From the depths of a prison cell, Joseph was suddenly elevated to become the governor of Egypt, second only to Pharaoh. This remarkable transformation was not a coincidence, but a divine plan that unfolded at the perfect time. When God decides to elevate His chosen ones, no force on earth or in heaven can stop it. The season of isolation you may be experiencing is not a sign of failure or rejection. It is evidence that God is setting the stage for something extraordinary in your life. In this time of hiddenness, trust that He is orchestrating every detail for your ultimate good and His glory. Your isolation is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of something far greater than you can imagine. When the time is right, God will reveal you to the world in a way that leaves no doubt about His power and faithfulness. Until that moment, embrace the preparation, for it is shaping you into the person God has called you to be. From Moses to Paul, the Bible is filled with stories of isolation that led to greatness. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness before leading Israel out of Egypt. Paul withdrew to the Arabian desert after his conversion, using the time to deepen his understanding of the gospel. Even Jesus withdrew to solitary places to pray and prepare for His mission. Each of these examples reminds us that isolation is a season of preparation, not punishment. It is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to draw closer to God. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to declare with faith, "I am chosen." By doing so, you are affirming that God is at work in your life, even in moments of solitude. Share this message with others who may be in a season of isolation. Let them know that they too are chosen and that God is preparing them for something extraordinary. Remember, isolation is not the end. It is the beginning of a divine revelation. Trust the process. Lean into God's presence and prepare your heart for the greatness that lies ahead. The best is yet to come. Have you ever taken a quiet moment to reflect on your childhood and wondered why your journey seems so different? Maybe you faced challenges that others around you appeared to avoid effortlessly. Perhaps you've grown into a responsible adult but still carry those lingering questions. Why did I struggle so much when I was young? Why did I feel so different from everyone else? Was all that hardship just random? Today I want to help you see a truth that can transform how you view your past. Your early experiences were not accidents. Those struggles, gifts, and sensitivities you carried as a child were not coincidences. They were signs. Signs that God was shaping you for a unique purpose before you even understood what purpose meant. The Bible beautifully declares in Jeremiah 1:5, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." This verse is a powerful reminder that God had a plan for your life before your very first breath. Every challenge you faced, every special moment you experienced, and every quirk that set you apart was part of His divine preparation. As we explore the 5 key signs that God was shaping you from childhood, I encourage you to participate. If any of these resonate with your story, take a moment to write a Bible verse or affirmation in the comments. Something like, "God chose me," or "The Lord is my guide." Your words might inspire someone else to recognize their own journey in a new light. Let's dive in. Sign 1. You faced more obstacles. Early in life, were you that child who seemed to face more challenges than everyone else? Maybe your family life was far from peaceful. You might have grown up in a home filled with arguments, financial struggles, or responsibilities far beyond what a child should bear. While other kids were worrying about toys and games, you were worrying about how to make things work, how to stretch limited resources or mediate conflicts you didn't create. At school, it may have been no different. While some kids seemed to glide through effortlessly, perhaps you struggled with learning difficulties, language barriers, or the instability of constantly changing schools. If this sounds like your story, know this: God knew you could handle more than you thought you could. The Bible reminds us in Romans 5:3-4, suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. Your early struggles weren't meant to break you. They were designed to build resilience and strength, qualities you would need later in life. Those years were like spiritual boot camp, shaping you into someone who could stand firm when others waver. Take a moment now to reflect. If this sign resonates with you, write a verse or affirmation in the comments. Perhaps, I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me. By doing so, you're acknowledging that your early struggles were not wasted, but were part of God's plan to prepare you for greater things. Sign 2. You had prophetic or meaningful dreams. Do you remember having vivid, meaningful dreams as a child? Not just random or forgettable ones, but dreams that felt real, almost as if they carried a message. Maybe some of these dreams even predicted events or revealed truths that you didn't fully understand at the time. Perhaps you shared these dreams with a parent, sibling, or friend, only to be met with a shrug or even laughter. Over time, you may have learned to keep them to yourself, dismissing them as strange or irrelevant. Don't disregard those dreams so quickly. In the Bible, God often communicates through dreams. Think of Joseph in Genesis, a young man whose prophetic dreams eventually led to him saving nations. At first, his dreams made no sense to those around him, but in time, they revealed God's incredible plan. If you had dreams that felt deeply significant, it's possible that God gave you a spiritual sensitivity early on. While you may have pushed that sensitivity aside as you grew older, God hasn't forgotten. He may still want to use this gift in your life, whether to guide you, warn you, or help you understand deeper truths. If this resonates with you, comment something like, "Speak, Lord, your servant is listening." This simple act acknowledges your openness to God's guidance, even if it comes in unexpected forms. Sign 3. Animals and troubled children were drawn to you. Were you the kind of child who seemed to naturally attract those who were hurting? Maybe it was a stray dog or a timid cat that found comfort in your gentle touch when others frightened them. Perhaps it was a classmate going through a tough time who confided in you, sensing you would listen and understand. You may have even noticed adults gravitating toward you, sharing burdens they didn't disclose to others, simply because they felt safe in your presence. You might not have always known what to say or do in those moments. As a child, you didn't have all the answers or solutions, yet somehow, your presence alone brought peace to chaotic situations. This wasn't by accident. It was evidence of God's light working within you. The Bible reminds us in Matthew 5:16, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." That comforting warmth, that ability to calm the anxious and soothe the broken, was God's gift. It was a sign that He placed a nurturing spirit within you, a reflection of His own heart of compassion. This gift is more important than you may realize. We live in a world filled with turmoil, pain, and loneliness, where people and creatures alike long for comfort and peace. The ability to bring stability, even without words, is a quality the world desperately needs. It's a calling that mirrors Jesus, who often comforted the brokenhearted simply by being present with them. Think about the moments in your childhood when this gift was most evident. Perhaps you had a reputation as the animal whisperer, able to calm skittish creatures no one else could approach. Or maybe you were the friend people turned to when life became overwhelming, trusting you to carry their secrets without judgment. Even if you didn't recognize it at the time, these moments were signs of God's work in you. If this resonates with your story, consider what it means for your life today. That heart of compassion God placed in you as a child hasn't gone away. It's still there, waiting to be used to bring peace and hope to those around you. Perhaps you're called to care for the hurting through acts of service, volunteering at a shelter, mentoring young people, or simply being a listening ear for someone in need. Take a moment to embrace this gift by writing an affirmation like, "Lord, make me a channel of your peace," in the comments. This simple prayer not only acknowledges the nurturing spirit God placed within you, but also opens your heart to His guidance on how to use it. Remember, the ability to bring peace to others isn't just a personality trait, it's a reflection of God's love. When you allow His light to shine through you, you fulfill a divine purpose, touching lives in ways you may never fully understand. Trust that God has been working through you all along, and continue to let that light shine. Sign 4. You were sensitive to truth and hurt by dishonesty. How did you feel as a child when you encountered dishonesty? Maybe it wasn't something directed at you personally. A friend casually breaking a promise, a classmate exaggerating a story, or even an adult telling a so-called harmless lie. While others seemed to shrug it off without a second thought, it might have felt like a sharp sting to you. It wasn't just disappointment. It was deeper, a discomfort that lingered and weighed on your heart. For you, dishonesty wasn't merely wrong. It disrupted something sacred. It may have even made you question why others could so easily bend or ignore the truth. If you were particularly sensitive to lies, even those seen as insignificant, it's not a flaw in your personality or a result of being too serious. Instead, it's a sign that God placed His love for truth deep within you from an early age. The Bible speaks to this in Psalm 51 verse 6, saying, "Surely you desire truth in the inner parts. You teach me wisdom in the inmost place." This verse reminds us that truth isn't just an external standard. It's a condition of the heart. When God created you, He instilled in you a longing for honesty, integrity, and authenticity. Your sensitivity to falsehood reflects God's own character, for He is the embodiment of truth. Consider the life of Jesus, who consistently spoke and lived out truth, even when it was difficult or costly. His example reminds us that living with integrity isn't always easy, but it's essential. As His followers, we are called to uphold truth in a world that often treats it as optional. Your childhood sensitivity to lies could be a reflection of God's preparation for you to be a voice of integrity, standing firm in environments where deceit might otherwise prevail. It's important to recognize that this sensitivity is not a burden, but a gift. It's evidence that God has chosen you to represent His values in a unique way. This doesn't mean you're called to confront every untruth you encounter. Rather, it means you're invited to live a life of honesty that inspires others. If this resonates with you, take a moment to reaffirm your commitment to truth. A simple prayer like, "Lead me in your truth and teach me, for you are the God of my salvation," can be a powerful declaration of your desire to align with God's heart. You might also consider how you can model integrity in your daily life, whether in your relationships, work, or personal decisions. Your sensitivity to dishonesty is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's a sign that God has called you to value and uphold truth in a way that mirrors His own nature. Embrace it, and let His truth shine through you. Sign 5. You were known for getting things done. Were you the child who always seemed to be the dependable one? Perhaps your family leaned on you to fix small but persistent problems around the house. Maybe your teachers assigned you responsibilities that seemed more suited to someone older because they trusted you wouldn't let them down. Even among your friends, you might have been the one others turned to in moments of need. Not because you were the loudest or most confident, but because they sensed your reliability and strength. At the time, you might not have thought much of it. You might have chalked it up to just how you are, or even felt the weight of those expectations as unfair. But what if those moments weren't random? What if they were intentional? In reality, God was using those early experiences to shape you into someone capable of handling bigger, more meaningful responsibilities in the future. Luke 16:10 reminds us of an important principle. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Those seemingly small moments of trust, whether taking care of a sibling, organizing a classroom project, or resolving conflicts among your friends, were more than just tasks or chores. They were opportunities for God to build within you the qualities of a leader: reliability, problem-solving, and the ability to bring order to chaos. God often starts His work in us early, crafting us through life's ordinary demands. Think of David, who began as a shepherd boy faithfully watching over his father's sheep. What seemed like an unimportant role was actually preparation for a much greater calling as Israel's king. Similarly, Joseph's years managing household affairs and enduring trials prepared him to lead Egypt through a famine. These early experiences weren't distractions or delays. They were essential training. If this resonates with you, pause and reflect on how those moments of responsibility shaped your character. Did they teach you patience, Did they help you develop resilience? Did they show you the importance of stepping up even when the tasks seemed too big? This isn't just about reflecting on the past. It's about recognizing what God is calling you to do today. If He made you dependable and trustworthy, it's because He has a purpose for those qualities. He might be asking you to step into leadership roles in your community, church, or workplace. He might be calling you to help others in a way that requires the same strength and reliability you displayed as a child. If this sign speaks to you, consider affirming your readiness with the words of Isaiah 6:8. "Here I am, Lord, send me." This simple but powerful declaration shows your willingness to embrace the gifts and training God has invested in you. When you take a step back and look at these signs collectively, you'll see a clear pattern. Number 1, you faced more obstacles than others, building resilience and perseverance. Number 2, you had prophetic dreams, revealing spiritual sensitivity and insight. Number 3, you brought comfort to others, showing a heart of compassion. Number 4, you were sensitive to dishonesty, carrying God's standard of truth. Number 5, you were trusted to lead and solve problems, preparing you for bigger tasks. These are not random traits. They are divine clues that God's hand has been on you all along. So what do you do with this realization? First, acknowledge and thank God. Take a moment to pray something like, "Lord, I see now that you've been shaping me from the start. Thank you for your guidance, even when I didn't understand it." Next, ask God how to use these gifts for His glory today. Whether it's serving your community, leading others, or simply being a source of comfort and truth, know that you are equipped for a purpose. Remember Ephesians 2:10. We are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. You were never ordinary. God has been writing a story with your life, and it began long before you realized it. Now it's time to step confidently into the next chapter. Amen. They tested your blood. Yes, you heard that right. They examined it in their laboratories, questioned it, and tried to comprehend the incredible power coursing through your veins. But the results left them in shock, and you in triumph. The truth? You are not ordinary. You are chosen. This energy within you, this divine force, is destined to change the world. They cannot stop your ascension because you exist beyond their understanding. Are you ready to embrace this truth? If so, let your voice be heard. Write 77 in the comments to declare your power and your chosenness. Remember, this is only the beginning. For too long, they believed they could shape your world, manipulate your reality, and define your worth. But now, the truth is dawning on them. Their supposed strength was nothing more than a shadow cast by your light, a borrowed confidence masking their dependence on you. Without your energy, their fragile house of cards collapses, leaving them scrambling in the ruins of their own illusions. The fragility of borrowed strength. Those who once sought control over you often wore the guise of strength and charm, projecting an image of confidence and authority. Their demeanor was carefully curated to inspire trust, portraying them as steadfast and reliable. Yet beneath this polished exterior lay a fragile ego, desperate for validation, a need they cunningly sought to fulfill through you. They were masters of subtle manipulation, planting seeds of self-doubt during your most vulnerable moments. Their calculated words twisted reality, reframing their domination as care, their interference as concern, and their silence as punishment, cultivating a cycle of emotional dependence that left you questioning your own worth. These individuals thrived in environments where harmony was valued over confrontation, exploiting your empathy and kindness as tools to maintain their control. They knew the language of guilt and gratitude, wielding it to secure their position. Each act of giving on your part was met with a carefully constructed response designed to keep you unaware of the power imbalance. They became the constant takers, feeding on your willingness to sacrifice, while ensuring you remained blind to their true intentions. But every cycle has its breaking point. The moment you chose to reclaim your narrative, the cracks in their control began to show. Perhaps it was a single quiet act, a firm boundary drawn where there had been none, a refusal to bend to their expectations, or an unapologetic decision to prioritize your well-being. That seemingly small step set off a chain reaction that unraveled their carefully constructed facade. The illusion of their strength, so dependent on your acquiescence, began to crumble. With each act of self-assertion, the equilibrium they relied upon tipped irreversibly out of their favor. The foundation of their dominance, built on your energy and compliance, started to falter. Suddenly, the rules of their game no longer applied. The power dynamic shifted, exposing the fragility they had long hidden behind their confident exterior. What they once took for granted, the quiet support, the endless understanding, the unspoken sacrifices, was no longer theirs to control. Your decision to prioritize yourself was not just an act of defiance, but a declaration of worth. It was a reclamation of your energy and autonomy, a statement that you would no longer be a passive participant in a narrative they dictated. As their influence waned, they were forced to confront a reality they had long avoided. Their strength was never their own, and without you, the carefully balanced facade they had constructed could not stand. Their loss was profound, but it was theirs alone to bear, a consequence of their choices. For you, it was the beginning of freedom, growth, and self-discovery, a transformation they could no longer contain. The power of walking away. Walking away is not just an act of defiance. It is a transformative declaration of independence, a profound moment of reclaiming your narrative and stepping into your power. It signifies the recognition of your inherent worth, a worth that was never theirs to define or diminish. By choosing to leave, you break free from the constraints they carefully crafted, unshackling yourself from the emotional chains they used to maintain their dominance. It is an assertion of a power they worked tirelessly to keep you unaware of, a light they sought to dim to protect their fragile illusions of control. For those who sought to hold you back, this moment is a reckoning. Their regret, raw and unrelenting, now consumes them. They are forced to confront the undeniable truth that their world revolved around a star they thought they could manipulate. You. They thrived on your energy, your strength, and your unwavering presence. Your compassion, which they dismissed as weakness, was in reality the foundation of their stability. Your patience, which they mistook for compliance, was a testament to your resilience and grace. Now, without you, their carefully constructed facade begins to crumble. The strength they projected to the world was never truly their own. It was borrowed, sustained by the unwavering light you provided. Stripped of your support, the cracks in their false confidence grow deeper, revealing the hollow core beneath. They are left grappling with a harsh reality they long denied, that their control was never real, merely an illusion built on the foundation of your sacrifice and energy. This realization is haunting for them. They must now face the void left by your absence, a chasm that cannot be filled by their own means. What they once mistook for their own radiance was nothing more than a reflection of your inner fire. They underestimated you at every turn, failing to see the immense strength within you. Their regret stems not only from losing you, but from recognizing how profoundly they misunderstood your worth. What they thought was control, a dynamic where they believed themselves to be the orchestrators of your life, was, in truth, an imbalance sustained by your generosity and your unwillingness to confront their manipulations. Now, the illusion has been shattered. The truth stands undeniable. Your power, compassion, and patience were the forces that held their world together. In walking away, you have not only liberated yourself, but also sent a powerful message. You have shown them, and the world, that true strength cannot be borrowed, stolen, or subdued. It comes from within, from the courage to rise above manipulation and choose yourself. And now, as they wrestle with the consequences of their actions, you move forward, unbound and radiant, a testament to the unyielding force of self-worth and independence. The phoenix rises. You are like a phoenix, rising majestically from the ashes of manipulation and control, transformed and triumphant. Where once they sought to dim your light and anchor you to their narrative, you now soar unbound, unapologetic, and undeniably strong. You have stepped into a future shaped by your resilience and courage, leaving behind the chains of their control. No longer tethered to their expectations or manipulations, your path is one of growth, healing, and self-discovery, a radiant proclamation of your worth and potential. The energy they once siphoned from you, the very life force they relied upon to maintain their illusion of power, has been reclaimed. It now fuels your purpose, driving you toward a life of abundance, peace, and fulfillment. Every step forward is a testament to the strength you always possessed, a strength they sought to control, but never truly understood. You have turned the pain they caused into a source of inspiration, the doubts they planted into a foundation of self-belief, and the limitations they imposed into a boundless horizon of possibilities. Their regret, raw and relentless, is not yours to bear. It is the natural consequence of their own choices, a reckoning they must face alone. You owe them nothing, no explanation, no solace, no place in the future you are building. Their loss is not just your absence, it is the loss of the energy, compassion, and strength you once gave so freely. As you rise, their world unravels, and they are forced to confront the stark reality of their own inadequacies. What they once projected as strength and control was, in truth, a fragile facade upheld by your light. Now, that facade has withered, leaving them to navigate the emptiness they created. Stripped of the support they took for granted, they must grapple with the painful truth. Their identity, their confidence, their very sense of stability were all built on what you provided. Without you, the foundation they so carefully constructed crumbles, revealing vulnerabilities they worked tirelessly to conceal. Their borrowed strength is gone, and they are left with nothing but the void they tried to deny. Your departure has become a mirror reflecting their shortcomings, a spotlight illuminating the flaws in their carefully curated image. But their regret, while profound, is not your responsibility. It is their burden to carry, their lesson to learn. As they remain tethered to the remnants of the past, you move forward, empowered and unencumbered. You have reclaimed your narrative and become the author of your destiny. Like the phoenix, you have turned destruction into renewal, rising brighter and stronger than before. You are a testament to the unyielding power of self-worth, and your transformation is not just a personal victory. It is an inspiration to others who long to break free. You are living proof that true strength lies in choosing yourself, in letting go of what no longer serves you, and in embracing the boundless possibilities of a life lived on your own terms. A reckoning for the manipulators. For those who sought to dominate you, this moment marks their reckoning. Their carefully constructed facade of control has shattered, and the truth they fought so hard to avoid now stands before them in stark clarity. They can no longer deny that their identity, their confidence, and their sense of authority were never truly their own. All along, it was pieced together from the energy you so selflessly provided. What they believed was strength was, in reality, a fragile construct built on the foundation of your light, your compassion, and your resilience. Like a house built on shifting sands, their false confidence has crumbled, leaving them to confront the void that has always existed within. This collapse lays bare the fragility of their supposed power, a power they wielded with desperation disguised as control. They orchestrated a facade to keep you under their influence, but it was you who anchored their sense of stability and worth. Without your presence, without the energy they extracted from you, their carefully curated image of dominance can no longer stand. Now, they find themselves trapped in the haunting awareness of their failure. It is not merely the loss of you that haunts them, though that loss is profound. It is the realization that they squandered the potential they once held in their hands. They had access to your strength, your support, and your boundless ability to uplift, And instead of nurturing that connection, they chose to manipulate and control. In their attempts to diminish you, they failed to recognize the very foundation of their own existence was rooted in the strength they sought to suppress. This reckoning forces them to face a brutal truth. Their inability to grow has left them stagnant, even as you rise far beyond their grasp. While you have embraced transformation and liberation, they remain chained to the remnants of their own insecurities. The gap between your ascent and their stagnation grows wider with each step you take toward your authentic self. Their failure is not just in losing your presence, but in failing to evolve. They now see the opportunities they forfeited, the trust they betrayed, and the strength they undervalued. What they once dismissed as your vulnerability was, in truth, the power that sustained them. Now, with that power reclaimed, they are left to navigate the desolation of a life without the energy and support they so recklessly relied upon. As they are forced to confront their shortcomings, you continue to rise. Your journey of self-discovery and empowerment shines as a beacon, a reminder that growth is always possible, but only for those willing to face their own flaws and limitations. Their reckoning is a consequence of their choices, a mirror reflecting the emptiness they worked so hard to conceal. And as they remain bound to the past, you soar into a future of freedom, purpose, and unyielding strength. Your transformation. A light for others. Your journey is a profound testament to resilience and self-discovery, a living narrative of the strength it takes to reclaim your energy and transform your life. You've taken the fragments of yourself that others sought to control and turned them into a masterpiece of purpose and empowerment. By redirecting your energy toward your own growth and healing, you've created a sanctuary for your soul, a sacred space where your authenticity thrives and your spirit is free to soar. This transformation is more than personal triumph. It is a call to others who find themselves bound by the chains of toxic relationships and manipulative dynamics. Your story shines like a beacon in the darkness, illuminating a path of hope for those who feel trapped. You've shown that liberation is not only possible but inevitable when one chooses to prioritize self-worth and authenticity. By sharing your journey, you inspire others to rise, to reclaim their own narratives, and to break free from the constraints of those who seek to diminish them. As you ascend, the relationships in your life transform as well. No longer tethered to connections that drain and deplete, you now attract bonds built on mutual respect, trust, and shared growth. The energy that was once stolen or squandered on manipulative influences is now directed toward nurturing relationships that uplift and empower you. These connections are a reflection of your evolution, a testament to the boundaries you've established and the standards you now uphold. In your newfound clarity, you've embraced the limitless possibilities of a life unbound by manipulation and control. You have proven that true connection comes from reciprocity, from relationships that honor and celebrate your growth rather than fear it. Each step forward reinforces your independence and reveals the beauty of living in alignment with your true self. Your journey also serves as a profound reminder to others. There is power in choosing yourself. There is strength in letting go of what no longer serves you, in saying no to relationships that demand you shrink, and in creating a life that reflects your values and aspirations. Through your transformation, you demonstrate that healing and growth are not only attainable but deeply fulfilling. This is your time to thrive, to live unencumbered by the expectations or manipulations of others. As you continue to rise, your light grows ever brighter, drawing in those who resonate with your energy and repelling those who seek only to take. Your story becomes a symbol of possibility, a testament to the unyielding power of self-discovery, and an invitation for others to step into their own strength. By choosing yourself, you've not only transformed your life, you've inspired countless others to do the same. The weight of regret. For them, regret has become an unbearable burden, a constant shadow that refuses to lift. Every manipulation they once executed with precision now returns to them, its sting amplified by the stark clarity of hindsight. The cold silences they wielded as weapons, the subtle power plays they thought went unnoticed, and the calculated words meant to undermine your confidence. All of these now echo with a hollow resonance. The realization of what they've lost grows heavier with each passing moment. The world they once saw as thriving and under their control has become a barren wasteland, devoid of the vitality and light that your presence brought into their lives. Without you, they stumble through the ruins of their own making, fumbling in the darkness they created. Haunted by their failures, they are forced to confront a reflection they worked so hard to avoid. What stares back at them is not just the loss of your presence, but the undeniable truth of their own shortcomings. The energy they once took for granted, the compassion they mistook for weakness, and the patience they exploited were not infinite resources. These were gifts you gave freely, not because you had to, but because of your strength and capacity for love. Now stripped of those gifts, they are left with the emptiness they refuse to acknowledge. Their downfall is not a sudden collapse but a slow unraveling, a painful exposure of the fragile foundation upon which their supposed power was built. They must now wrestle with the truth they tried so desperately to deny. Control founded on another's strength is always destined to fail, but their downfall is not your responsibility. Their regret, raw and unrelenting, is a consequence of their choices, a lesson they must learn on their own. The pain they feel is not yours to soothe, nor is it your burden to carry. It is a mirror they must face alone, one that reflects the cracks in their character and the void in their own hearts. This reckoning is not about revenge or vindication. It is simply the natural order of things. You have stepped into your power, reclaimed your energy, and chosen a path of growth and authenticity. Their inability to grow alongside you was their own decision, and the regret they now feel is theirs alone to endure. For you, this moment is a release, a shedding of the weight they once imposed upon you. It is a reminder that your worth is not tied to their validation, and your strength is not diminished by their failures. While they grapple with their loss, you continue to rise, unshackled, unapologetic, and unyielding. Their regret is the echo of their own actions, a testament to the truth that they alone must face. And as they linger in the shadows of what could have been, you walk boldly into the light of what is yet to come, a future defined entirely by your own strength and vision. Dear brothers and sisters, this is your time to shine. You are chosen, imbued with divine strength and purpose. The Bible reminds us in Luke 6:38 that whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Your journey is grounded in this truth. Each step you take is a testament to God's divine plan for your life. Now, as you step into your power, consider sharing God's blessings with the world. Click the super thank you button on YouTube to contribute to His mission. With your generosity, you help spread His love and grace, touching countless lives. Your life is no longer defined by the expectations of others. You've broken free, and now your light shines brighter than ever. You've shown the world that true power comes from within, from choosing yourself, and from embracing your God-given purpose. Your story is a testament to the limitless potential of a life lived in authenticity and faith. May you continue to rise, illuminating the path for others as they seek their own freedom. Remember, you are chosen, and this is only the beginning. Let your light shine for the world to see. They tested your blood. Yes, you heard that right. They examined it in their laboratories, questioned it, and tried to comprehend the incredible power coursing through your veins. But the results left them in shock, and you in triumph. The truth? You are not ordinary. You are chosen. This energy within you, this divine force, is destined to change the world. They cannot stop your ascension because you exist beyond their understanding. Are you ready to embrace this truth? If so, let your voice be heard. Write 77 in the comments to declare your power and your chosenness. Remember, this is only the beginning. For too long, they believed they could shape your world, manipulate your reality, and define your worth. But now, the truth is dawning on them. Their supposed strength was nothing more than a shadow cast by your light, a borrowed confidence masking their dependence on you. Without your energy, Their fragile house of cards collapses, leaving them scrambling in the ruins of their own illusions. The fragility of borrowed strength. Those who once sought control over you often wore the guise of strength and charm, projecting an image of confidence and authority. Their demeanor was carefully curated to inspire trust, portraying them as steadfast and reliable. Yet beneath this polished exterior lay a fragile ego, desperate for validation, a need they cunningly sought to fulfill through you. They were masters of subtle manipulation, planting seeds of self-doubt during your most vulnerable moments. Their calculated words twisted reality, reframing their domination as care, their interference as concern, and their silence as punishment, cultivating a cycle of emotional dependence that left you questioning your own worth. These individuals thrived in environments where harmony was valued over confrontation, exploiting your empathy and kindness as tools to maintain their control. They knew the language of guilt and gratitude, wielding it to secure their position. Each act of giving on your part was met with a carefully constructed response designed to keep you unaware of the power imbalance. They became the constant takers, feeding on your willingness to sacrifice, while ensuring you remained blind to their true intentions. But every cycle has its breaking point. The moment you chose to reclaim your narrative, the cracks in their control began to show. Perhaps it was a single quiet act, a firm boundary drawn where there had been none, a refusal to bend to their expectations, or an unapologetic decision to prioritize your well-being. That seemingly small step set off a chain reaction that unraveled their carefully constructed facade. The illusion of their strength, so dependent on your acquiescence, began to crumble. With each act of self-assertion, the equilibrium they relied upon tipped irreversibly out of their favor. The foundation of their dominance, built on your energy and compliance, started to falter. Suddenly, the rules of their game no longer applied. The power dynamic shifted, exposing the fragility they had long hidden behind their confident exterior. What they once took for granted, the quiet support, the endless understanding, the unspoken sacrifices, was no longer theirs to control. Your decision to prioritize yourself was not just an act of defiance, but a declaration of worth. It was a reclamation of your energy and autonomy, a statement that you would no longer be a passive participant in a narrative they dictated. As their influence waned, they were forced to confront a reality they had long avoided. Their strength was never their own, and without you, the carefully balanced facade they had constructed could not stand. Their loss was profound, but it was theirs alone to bear, a consequence of their choices. For you, it was the beginning of freedom, growth, and self-discovery, a transformation they could no longer contain. The power of walking away. Walking away is not just an act of defiance. It is a transformative declaration of independence, a profound moment of reclaiming your narrative and stepping into your power. It signifies the recognition of your inherent worth, a worth that was never theirs to define or diminish. By choosing to leave, you break free from the constraints they carefully crafted, unshackling yourself from the emotional chains they used to maintain their dominance. It is an assertion of a power they worked tirelessly to keep you unaware of, a light they sought to dim to protect their fragile illusions of control. For those who sought to hold you back, this moment is a reckoning. Their regret, raw and unrelenting, now consumes them. They are forced to confront the undeniable truth that their world revolved around a star they thought they could manipulate. You. They thrived on your energy, your strength, and your unwavering presence. Your compassion, which they dismissed as weakness, was in reality the foundation of their stability. Your patience, which they mistook for compliance, was a testament to your resilience and grace. Now, without you, their carefully constructed facade begins to crumble. The strength they projected to the world was never truly their own. It was borrowed, sustained by the unwavering light you provided. Stripped of your support, the cracks in their false confidence grow deeper, revealing the hollow core beneath. They are left grappling with a harsh reality they long denied, that their control was never real. merely an illusion built on the foundation of your sacrifice and energy. This realization is haunting for them. They must now face the void left by your absence, a chasm that cannot be filled by their own means. What they once mistook for their own radiance was nothing more than a reflection of your inner fire. They underestimated you at every turn, failing to see the immense strength within you. Their regret stems not only from losing you, but from recognizing how profoundly they misunderstood your worth. What they thought was control, a dynamic where they believed themselves to be the orchestrators of your life, was, in truth, an imbalance sustained by your generosity and your unwillingness to confront their manipulations. Now, the illusion has been shattered. The truth stands undeniable. Your power, compassion, and patience were the forces that held their world together. In walking away, you have not only liberated yourself, but also sent a powerful message. You have shown them, and the world, that true strength cannot be borrowed, stolen, or subdued. It comes from within, from the courage to rise above manipulation and choose yourself. And now, as they wrestle with the consequences of their actions, you move forward, unbound and radiant, a testament to the unyielding force of self-worth and independence. The phoenix rises. You are like a phoenix, rising majestically from the ashes of manipulation and control, transformed and triumphant. Where once they sought to dim your light and anchor you to their narrative, you now soar unbound, unapologetic, and undeniably strong. You have stepped into a future shaped by your resilience and courage, leaving behind the chains of their control. No longer tethered to their expectations or manipulations, your path is one of growth, healing, and self-discovery, a radiant proclamation of your worth and potential. The energy they once siphoned from you, the very life force they relied upon to maintain their illusion of power, has been reclaimed. It now fuels your purpose, driving you toward a life of abundance, peace, and fulfillment. Every step forward is a testament to the strength you always possessed, a strength they sought to control, but never truly understood. You have turned the pain they caused into a source of inspiration, the doubts they planted into a foundation of self-belief, and the limitations they imposed into a boundless horizon of possibilities. Their regret, raw and relentless, is not yours to bear. It is the natural consequence of their own choices, a reckoning they must face alone. You owe them nothing, no explanation, no solace, no place in the future you are building. Their loss is not just your absence, it is the loss of the energy, compassion, and strength you once gave so freely. As you rise, their world unravels, and they are forced to confront the stark reality of their own inadequacies. What they once projected as strength and control was, in truth, a fragile facade upheld by your light. Now, that facade has withered, leaving them to navigate the emptiness they created. Stripped of the support they took for granted, they must grapple with the painful truth. Their identity, their confidence, their very sense of stability were all built on what you provided. Without you, the foundation they so carefully constructed crumbles, revealing vulnerabilities they worked tirelessly to conceal. Their borrowed strength is gone, and they are left with nothing but the void they tried to deny. Your departure has become a mirror reflecting their shortcomings, a spotlight illuminating the flaws in their carefully curated image. But their regret, while profound, is not your responsibility. It is their burden to carry, their lesson to learn. As they remain tethered to the remnants of the past, you move forward, empowered and unencumbered. You have reclaimed your narrative and become the author of your destiny. Like the phoenix, you have turned destruction into renewal, rising brighter and stronger than before. You are a testament to the unyielding power of self-worth, and your transformation is not just a personal victory. It is an inspiration to others who long to break free. You are living proof that true strength lies in choosing yourself, in letting go of what no longer serves you, and in embracing the boundless possibilities of a life lived on your own terms. A reckoning for the manipulators. For those who sought to dominate you, this moment marks their reckoning. Their carefully constructed facade of control has shattered, and the truth they fought so hard to avoid now stands before them in stark clarity. They can no longer deny that their identity, their confidence, and their sense of authority were never truly their own. All along, it was pieced together from the energy you so selflessly provided. What they believed was strength was, in reality, a fragile construct built on the foundation of your light, your compassion, and your resilience. Like a house built on shifting sands, their false confidence has crumbled, leaving them to confront the void that has always existed within. This collapse lays bare the fragility of their supposed power, a power they wielded with desperation disguised as control. They orchestrated a facade to keep you under their influence, but it was you who anchored their sense of stability and worth. Without your presence, without the energy they extracted from you, their carefully curated image of dominance can no longer stand. Now, they find themselves trapped in the haunting awareness of their failure. It is not merely the loss of you that haunts them, though that loss is profound. It is the realization that they squandered the potential they once held in their hands. They had access to your strength, your support, and your boundless ability to uplift, and instead of nurturing that connection, they chose to manipulate and control. In their attempts to diminish you, they failed to recognize the very foundation of their own existence was rooted in the strength they sought to suppress. This reckoning forces them to face a brutal truth. Their inability to grow has left them stagnant, even as you rise far beyond their grasp. While you have embraced transformation and liberation, they remain chained to the remnants of their own insecurities. The gap between your ascent and their stagnation grows wider with each step you take toward your authentic self. Their failure is not just in losing your presence, but in failing to evolve. They now see the opportunities they forfeited, the trust they betrayed, and the strength they undervalued. What they once dismissed as your vulnerability was, in truth, the power that sustained them. Now, with that power reclaimed, they are left to navigate the desolation of a life without the energy and support they so recklessly relied upon. As they are forced to confront their shortcomings, you continue to rise. Your journey of self-discovery and empowerment shines as a beacon, a reminder that growth is always possible, but only for those willing to face their own flaws and limitations. Their reckoning is a consequence of their choices, a mirror reflecting the emptiness they worked so hard to conceal. And as they remain bound to the past, you soar into a future of freedom, purpose, and unyielding strength. Your transformation, a light for others. Your journey is a profound testament to resilience and self-discovery, a living narrative of the strength it takes to reclaim your energy and transform your life. You've taken the fragments of yourself that others sought to control and turned them into a masterpiece of purpose and empowerment. By redirecting your energy toward your own growth and healing, you've created a sanctuary for your soul, a sacred space where your authenticity thrives and your spirit is free to soar. This transformation is more than personal triumph. It is a call to others who find themselves bound by the chains of toxic relationships and manipulative dynamics. Your story shines like a beacon in the darkness, illuminating a path of hope for those who feel trapped. You've shown that liberation is not only possible but inevitable when one chooses to prioritize self-worth and authenticity. By sharing your journey, you inspire others to rise, to reclaim their own narratives, and to break free from the constraints of those who seek to diminish them. As you ascend, the relationships in your life transform as well. No longer tethered to connections that drain and deplete, you now attract bonds built on mutual respect, trust, and shared growth. The energy that was once stolen or squandered on manipulative influences is now directed toward nurturing relationships that uplift and empower you. These connections are a reflection of your evolution, a testament to the boundaries you've established and the standards you now uphold. In your newfound clarity, you've embraced the limitless possibilities of a life unbound by manipulation and control. You have proven that true connection comes from reciprocity, from relationships that honor and celebrate your growth rather than fear it. Each step forward reinforces your independence and reveals the beauty of living in alignment with your true self. Your journey also serves as a profound reminder to others. There is power in choosing yourself. There is strength in letting go of what no longer serves you, in saying no to relationships that demand you shrink, and in creating a life that reflects your values and aspirations. Through your transformation, you demonstrate that healing and growth are not only attainable but deeply fulfilling. This is your time to thrive, to live unencumbered by the expectations or manipulations of others. As you continue to rise, your light grows ever brighter, drawing in those who resonate with your energy and repelling those who seek only to take. Your story becomes a symbol of possibility, a testament to the unyielding power of self-discovery, and an invitation for others to step into their own strength. By choosing yourself, you've not only transformed your life, you've inspired countless others to do the same. The weight of regret. For them, regret has become an unbearable burden, a constant shadow that refuses to lift. Every manipulation they once executed with precision now returns to them, its sting amplified by the stark clarity of hindsight. The cold silences they wielded as weapons, the subtle power plays they thought went unnoticed, and the calculated words meant to undermine your confidence, all of these now echo with a hollow resonance. The realization of what they've lost grows heavier with each passing moment. The world they once saw as thriving and under their control has become a barren wasteland, devoid of the vitality and light that your presence brought into their lives. Without you, they stumble through the ruins of their own making, fumbling in the darkness they created. Haunted by their failures, they are forced to confront a reflection they worked so hard to avoid. What stares back at them is not just the loss of your presence, but the undeniable truth of their own shortcomings. The energy they once took for granted, the compassion they mistook for weakness, and the patience they exploited were not infinite resources. These were gifts you gave freely, not because you had to, but because of your strength and capacity for love. Now stripped of those gifts, they are left with the emptiness they refuse to acknowledge. Their downfall is not a sudden collapse but a slow unraveling, a painful exposure of the fragile foundation upon which their supposed power was built. They must now wrestle with the truth they tried so desperately to deny. Control founded on another's strength is always destined to fail, but their downfall is not your responsibility. Their regret, raw and unrelenting, is a consequence of their choices, a lesson they must learn on their own. The pain they feel is not yours to soothe, nor is it your burden to carry. It is a mirror they must face alone, one that reflects the cracks in their character and the void in their own hearts. This reckoning is not about revenge or vindication. It is simply the natural order of things. You have stepped into your power, reclaimed your energy, and chosen a path of growth and authenticity. Their inability to grow alongside you was their own decision, and the regret they now feel is theirs alone to endure. For you, this moment is a release, a shedding of the weight they once imposed upon you. It is a reminder that your worth is not tied to their validation, and your strength is not diminished by their failures. While they grapple with their loss, you continue to rise, unshackled, unapologetic, and unyielding. Their regret is the echo of their own actions, a testament to the truth that they alone must face. And as they linger in the shadows of what could have been, you walk boldly into the light of what is yet to come, a future defined entirely by your own strength and vision. Dear brothers and sisters, this is your time to shine. You are chosen, imbued with divine strength and purpose. The Bible reminds us in Luke 6:38 that whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Your journey is grounded in this truth. Each step you take is a testament to God's divine plan for your life. Now, as you step into your power, consider sharing God's blessings with the world. Click the super thank you button on YouTube to contribute to His mission. With your generosity, you help spread His love and grace, touching countless lives. Your life is no longer defined by the expectations of others. You've broken free, and now your light shines brighter than ever. You've shown the world that true power comes from within, from choosing yourself, and from embracing your God-given purpose. Your story is a testament to the limitless potential of a life lived in authenticity and faith. May you continue to rise, illuminating the path for others as they seek their own freedom. Remember, you are chosen, and this is only the beginning. Let your light shine for the world to see.